in the playoffs on Brown Field, 41-21, as they have 2 sophomores, 19 juniors, and 17 seniors that make up their 38-player roster for head coach Tim Lovell in his second season as the Indians head coach. He is 10-6 as he replaced Tony Perkins last season, as he was 104-59 in 17 seasons here at Marion. As Lovell spent 7 seasons as an assistant coach at Linmar. He's a native of Palatine, Illinois, and played football for Cornell College, where he was a 1997 graduate. Last meeting between these two teams was back on week number 8, October 14, 2016, where the Hawks defeated the Indians 35-21 in Manchester. We'll take a break and come back with John Swisher as he caught up with West Delaware head football coach Doug Winkowich, and that is coming up next right here on the West Delaware Football pregame show from KMCA Sports.
And and it's always good to see our fan support. I mean, it's really amazing.
And the middle school teams finish up this week for West Delaware, 7th and 8th. Perfect seasons and great things happening at the lower levels.
Yeah, both groups, 7th and 8th graders, both finished 6-0 and had tremendous seasons, and they're very well coached, and really excited about the future with those two groups there. And our guys just. I know I've said it over and over and over, but we start these kids in 7th and 8th grade really getting in that weight room, and I just think that's such a huge advantage for us. Our kids believe that they're supposed to beat the guy across from them, and oftentimes they are stronger than that kid because they put in the time and they've worked extremely hard, and I think our young guys really see the benefit of that.
All right, best of luck tonight. We'll talk to you next week as we get ready for week number 9. Thanks for your time as always.
Thanks, Swish.
Coach Doug Winkowich on the program. We'll be back with more of it here from Thomas Park in Marion. This is West Delaware football from KMCH Sports.
American Trust.
And welcome back into the West Delaware football pregame show. Jamie Vasky back along with you, and joining me is KMCH Sports Director John Swisher as we take a look, as we do every week, at the other athletics at West Delaware High School. Cross country boys and girls having their WAMAC conference tournament meet last night. And I'm thinking tournament because the volleyball team had concluded the WAMAC volleyball tournament last night as well. We'll start on the cross country side. Swish, as the cross-country meet at Vinton last night, as Hawk teams, again, steadily improving, and that's what the coaches like to see this time of year.
Yeah, did fairly well. I think Coach Dale Meyer on the boys' side and Coach Ben Mosier on the girls' side were happy with the way that their teams performed against a very talented and experienced WAMAC Conference running field in the world of cross country last night. On the girls' side, West Delaware finished in 12th place with 350 points as Benton Community, the number 1 team. They are stacked this year. Number 2 is Marion, and number 3, Solon. Number 4, Anamosa. Number 7 was Western Dubuque, as Independence at 13th. Beckman at 15th on the girls' side of cross country for the WAMAC Conference, as the Hawks were led by Abby Lockie, the senior. She ran at 21:34, good for 38th place last night. As the Hawks also had a freshman, Bridget McMahon. She placed 66 with 22:57. Maddie Gray, a junior, ran a 23:45. Grace Johnson, a freshman, a 24 minutes flat. 84th place, 85th place was Annika Suter, a junior. She ran a 24:03, and junior Macy Lockie, 94th place, a 25:20. That was the girls, as they get now a week off to prepare for the next meet, and that is the districts hosted by the Hawks at Hart Ridge Golf Course outside of Manchester next Thursday afternoon. As the boys yesterday finished 9th place with 200 points, as Anamosa was 10th with 258. Western Dubuque 6th with 154. Independence 13th, and Beckman was 16th as the West Delaware boys. And Noah Crumpton, a senior, 1755, 30th place there. 31st place was Ben Litter, the senior as well, 1758. Blake Smith, 38th place, 1809 for Blake Smith. The sophomore, Nathan Goranson, finished 47th with an 18:15 as Brady Carroll, a senior, 54th place, as Brady ran an 18:28. As a couple more here, Keegan Colbin, the senior, 19:05. And that's how the boys finish up the Wombat Conference at Vinton yesterday. And so they will get ready to set their get ready to host their Class 3A district. Next Thursday, going to be some good teams there. Great competition. We'll talk about that next week and get you ready for that when that comes around.
And West Delaware volleyball last Saturday had the West Side Invitational. Played well, played a couple 5A schools to start the day, and had a pretty good showing there. But then they had Walmack Volleyball Conference Tournament on Tuesday and Thursday. Played very well on Tuesday in that final against CPU. But I tell you what, Thursday was a little tougher as that first round, you didn't like the way that the Hawks maybe not played up to Coach Mather's standards against Beckman right away last night. But I tell you what, that Beckman team went on to finish second in the tournament. So, still improving, and that's the name of the game at this point.
Yes, indeed. They went 2-1 on Tuesday at Maquoketa, beating Maquoketa and Benton Community, and then rounding out the night to 2-1 loss to CPU, the 7th-ranked team in Class 4A. As Jamie alluded to, Beckman was the opponent first round on Thursday as the Blazers took down the Hawks 2-0, and then the Hawks came back and defeated Solon 2-0 as well. As Beckman did finish runner-up. Marion, the Wombat Conference Tournament champions yesterday at Marion High School here, as the Indians get the championship crown of the tournament. They defeated Western Dubuque in their semifinals 2-0 as Beckman took down Center Point Urbana. So the regular season and the conference tournament in the books. The Hawks look forward to next Wednesday night now as they have a few days off to rest and prepare and get ready for the Class 3A first rounder at Seedorf Gymnasium. Joan Salo and I will have all the action Wednesday night as West Delaware will take on the Union Knights, as we'll have Edco volleyball Tuesday night for you. Edco and Central Cater will battle it out at 7 o'clock. Joan and I will take the trip up to Edco High School in Edgewood, and we'll have that for you as Wednesday night. As I talked about, it will be West Delaware volleyball for the first time in the postseason.
Well, Swish, no Hawkeye game tomorrow, and you're here live tonight, so you do not have to make your pick first, as we're going to pick the game between the Cyclones and the Kansas Jayhawks tomorrow. So you don't have to make your prediction here tonight, but one thing I'm sure we'll talk about throughout the game and throughout after our game here tonight, once we get Bill back on the line with us, is Chicago Cubs baseball. It's that time of year again, and postseason baseball, and once again they are going to take on the Dodgers in the National League Championship Series, and I'm sure there will be I'm not making any guarantees that that there's not going to be a wager here tonight, as we had a wager with Bill last season. He ended up singing "Go Cubs Go," as he was a little worried when Janelle was playing "Go Cubs Go" on the air today that version was going to come out on the air, but he said it did not. He said it did not, but that's all right, because this year we've got another wager. We'll talk about that a little bit throughout the game. So it should be hopefully another good series between the Cubs and Dodgers.
Yeah, that'll be great. The Cubs getting that big win last night. They didn't play the best in the postseason. It was a nail biter, pacing game atmosphere last night. No doubt. They haven't played their best, but they got it done. They found a way. Nationals gave them some breaks. The Cubs took advantage of them, and that's sports, and that's baseball. And you just never know what's going to happen. Dodgers, the favorite, of course, and if they keep playing like they have a majority of the season, it's going to be a tough series for the Cubs. But you never know what can happen. We're hoping the Dodgers aren't that great, and the Cubs play better, and we hope the Cubs can not sweep, but well, yeah, that'd be great too. But I mean, beat the Dodgers in the NLCS for the second year in a row, and so we don't have to listen to Bill.
Few people on our side up here tonight having to drive down here with a Dodgers fan tonight. Swish, thanks for joining me.
Sure.
We'll talk to you after the game, and we'll get your prediction on that Iowa State-Kansas game for tomorrow.
Sounds good. Have a good call.
John Swisher, Sports Director, KMCH. And we'll be back with more of the West Delaware Football pregame show right after this from KMCH Sports. And welcome back into Thomas Park in Marion. Jamie Vaskey back along with you as the West Delaware Football pregame show rolls on as we take a look at our area games from the KMCH listening area here tonight as we start with our area online and playback game of the week as it is East Buchanan and at Edco tonight. As Kevin Shookman and Dan McClain on the call of that one tonight as East Buchanan, Edco, both in Class A District 4, also in Class A District 4. Starmont is at Northwind. It's homecoming tonight for the Lynx as Starmont comes to town. In that Class A District 4, Wapsie Valley leads that district with a 5-0 district record. They're 7-0 overall. East Buchanan right in the thick of things as they're 4-1 in the district and 6-1 overall. As East Buchanan, I just got a word, they're up 6-0 early on in that game. Alburnett right and Lisbon right behind East Buchanan. They are both 3-2 in district play, 5-2 overall. Edco's 2-3 in district play entering tonight, 3-4 overall. Northwind is 4-3 overall, 2-3 in district play. Postville's 1-4 in district play and 1-6 overall. And Starmont is 0-7. And 0-5 in district play. Western Dubuque defeated Davenport West last night as they played in Davenport, where it was Western Dubuque defeating Davenport West 40-13 as the Bobcats get their first district win of the season. They're now 1-3 in district play, 4-4 overall. That puts them ahead of Davenport West, who is now 0-4 in district play, 2-6 overall. Leading that district is Dubuque Senior and North Scott. They're both 3-0 in district play, 6-1 overall. Pleasant Valley is 2-1 and 5-2 overall. And Dubuque Hempstead is 3-4 overall and 1-2 in district play. Independence is at Vinton Shellsburg tonight. The Mustangs still looking for a chance to get into the playoffs this season as the Mustangs 3-2 overall, or 3-2 in district play, 4-4 overall. Cedar Rapids Xavier leading that district after a win over Waverly Shell Rock last week, a thriller in Waverly, or in Cedar Rapids, right here in Cedar Rapids, 5-0 are the Xavier Saints. They're 7-0 overall. Waverly drops to 6-1 overall, 4-1 in district play, as Decorah and Independence both 3-2 in district play. Then Community right behind them, 2-3 in district play, 4-3 overall. Charles City, South Tame, and Vinton Shellsburg all 1-4. In district play. Cascade, the third-ranked Cougars, as they moved up a spot from number 4 last week after Williamsburg, the top-ranked team, lost last week, as Cascade is at Waterloo Columbus tonight, as Cascade leading that district with a 5-0 district record. The Cougars are 7-0 overall. Waukon and Union tied at 4-1 in district play. North Fayette Valley is 2-3. In the district. Beckman is 2-3 in the district as well. They're 3-4, and the Blazers will host Monticello tonight, who is also 2-3 in district play, 4-3 overall. Waterloo Columbus is 1-4 in district play, and Owine is 0-5. Anamosa will host Mid Prairie tonight as the Blue Raiders are all. They're 2-3 in district play. Mid Prairie is also 2-3 and 3 and 4 in on the good matchups in Jones County tonight. Leading that district is Williamsburg with a 5-0 record. Mount Vernon, Williamsburg is second with a 4-1 district record, 6-1 overall. West Liberty is 4-1 overall. Maquoketa Valley hosting North Cedar tonight as Maquoketa Valley still looking for a playoff berth. If they can get past North Cedar tonight in Delhi, they'll have a chance to go to the playoffs with a matchup with Bellevue next week. Week number 9 is the Wildcats, 6-1 overall, 4-1 in district play, taking on, as I mentioned, North Cedar. They're 1-4 in district play and 1-6. West Branch 5-0 in district play, 7-0 overall. And Bellevue is 4-1 as well, 6-1 overall. Rankings this week, Class 4A, your top teams are the same. West Des Moines Dowling, Iowa City West, and West Des Moines Valley are your top 3. Class 3A is at number 8 this week. The top team is Cedar Rapids Xavier. Dallas Center Grimes is 2, Solon is 3, Pella is 4. In Class 2A, we mentioned Cascade up to number 3 this week. Above them is Boyden Hall Rock Valley, and Mount Vernon moved up from number 3 to number 2. Williamsburg, with that loss last week, drops to number 8. In Class 1A, West Lyon, Iowa City Regina are your top 3. Maquoketa Valley received votes this week in Class 1A. And in Class A, East Buchanan stays at number 10 as they are taking on Edco tonight. And leading Class A is at the top, West Sioux, Hudson, and Linville Sully. We'll take a short break. We'll come back with our starting lineups in just a little bit. You're listening to the West Delaware Football Pregame Show from KMCH Sports. Back into Thomas Park in Marion as the coin toss is over. Marion will receive the opening kick. As we take a look at our starting lineups before we'll get Bill Logan back in just a minute, as up front for Marion offensively There's Caleb Wagner, Nick Cole, Brevin Hahn, Isaac Keener, and Dalton Cannon. Receivers for the Indians are Mitch McAllister, Blair Brooks, and the tight end is Grant Meth. Fullback is Ja'Cory Higgins. Tailback, or the running back tonight, is Chris Mowinkle. And the quarterback is junior Trevor Paulson, 6'2", 190 pounds for the Indians. For the Hawks, defensively up front, Harrison Goebel, Justin Brown, Jordan Brees, and Derek Krogman. Linebackers for the Hawks are Grant Morris, Jared Helly, Logan Wynn, and your cornerbacks are Tyler Kelly and Mitchell Mangold. And the safeties are Gavin Soppe and Drew Wobenup. As we will take one more short break and come back with we're going to have our national anthem. We'll come back and talk to Bill Logan in just a second. You have been listening to the West Delaware Football Pregame Show right here on Eastern Iowa Sports Station, Mix 94.7 KNCH. Welcome back into Thomas Park as Jamie Baskey, Aaron Plain, and Bill Logan back along with you. Bill Logan joins us from the West Delaware sideline. Bill, another game where Coach Wink just says you got to come. I'm sure he's saying take care of business, and that's what it's going to take for the Hawks tonight, is not get caught up in the hype of this game and just continue to play good West Delaware football.
Well, they do. They just want to play solid football tonight. You know, they're going to have some treacherous footing out here tonight. A little rain there during that freshman game. The field was a little damp when we got here. They didn't have any rain since last Friday, according to the chain gang. But This field's a little wet, and then that rain in the third and fourth quarter of the freshman game's got a little slippery out here. You saw a little bit of that in that freshman game. But, both teams are mirror images of each other. They like to throw the ball. But yet, because of that, they're pretty successful running the ball. So both teams, it's just going to be a shootout here possibly tonight. So, I think it's going to be a game of special teams and turnovers. I mean, I think those are the two things we really got to watch for tonight. And those are the two battles that we're going to need to win to, keep field position and maybe get a turnover or two, make them into big plays.
Well, the Hawks have been very good in the turnover department so far, especially the last couple of weeks. They've managed to pick the ball off quite a bit. You mentioned the field conditions, and really, like you said, it didn't look bad. It was when you got here, but you could tell it was a little spongy. And now in the middle of the field, you can see where the first game really wore down.
Yeah, it is. They got a down on this thing, but yet it's still out there. It didn't really drain well this week, apparently, because it's a little wet up there. But, the grass is wet on the top from the rain, and then out there in the middle where there's not as much grass, that's where it's going to get slick. And hopefully the Hawks will just have to take advantage of that and know what they want to go.
All right, buddy boy. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you throughout the game, and go Cubs.
Yeah, a nice one there. See in 4 games.
Yeah, absolutely. Bill Logan down on the West Delaware sideline tonight and every night for West Delaware football. We'll take another break. We'll come back for the start of this game, and right after this, you're listening to it on Mix 94.7 KMCH.
Iowa's high school sports play-by-play leader. Hawks football from KMCH Sports is brought to you by the KMCH Sports Boosters. Now, with all the action, here's Bill Logan, Aaron Plain, and Jamie Vatsky.
West Delaware football is on the air from Thomas Park in Marion. It's the West Delaware Hawks and the Marion Indians. Good evening, everybody, along with Aaron Plain and Bill Logan. This is Jamie Vatsky. And Aaron, it is week 8. This is a big one. You've got the Hawks who are 5-0 in district play, and the Indians who are 4-1 and sitting right behind the Hawks and looking to knock off the Hawks and get into the playoffs here tonight.
Absolutely, Jamie. And as Bill alluded to a few minutes ago, critical keys for tonight's game: turnovers, and then in my mind, I think the Hawks really need to do a good job of being physical, both on the offensive and defensive lines. Get that running game established early. The field conditions, as Bill talked about, aren't the greatest, so it's going to be really important for those big guys up front, both on the defensive and offensive line, to really play physical and try and control the game up front.
Absolutely. As this series goes back quite a ways, as it goes all the way back to 1924. When it was the Manchester Manhawks and the Marion Indians. And I tell you what, 1924 and the Marion Indians, since that time, lead this series with 52 wins. The Hawks have 28 wins, and there has been 3 ties here in Marion. The Hawks are 13, 26, and 1. So hoping to change that here tonight, as the Hawks will kick off to start the game. As we mentioned, defensively for the Hawks, as Bill mentioned, you got to be careful, as the Indians like to air it out. And one of their premier wide receivers is 6'3", 190-pound senior Blair Brooks. Has had a few offers from different colleges, and they like to go to him a lot.
Absolutely, and he's got a good complement. And Chris Mowinkle comes in with about 750 yards rushing. So they do a lot of the Hawks and the Indians mirror each other in that regard. They both like to spread it out and like to have good balance. So we'll see who can come out tonight.
Mitchell Mangold will kick off for the Hawks, and this game is underway. As it is going to be, this is going to be Alex Whalen. As he's trying to go up the middle, he's going to bring it out past the 30-yard line. And that is where the Indians will start with it, 1st and 10. In quarterback is Trevor Paulson, 6'2", 190-pound junior. As that was Nick Bernal on the tackle for the Hawks on that kickoff. Paulson, 79 of 149 passing for 1,073 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. So see how this Hawk team handles the Indians here tonight in that passing game, as they're going to line up with Ja'Cory Higgins. I formation. Deep is Chris Mowinkle. Paulson under center. He's going to hand off to Mowinkle right up the middle, and he's going to be wrapped up immediately, as it's going to be Jordan Brees who wraps him up. And Jordan Brees takes that white jersey and gets the first dent in it for the night, as he came up with a big clump of dirt on his right shoulders, as the Hawks in their traveling white uniforms, white tops with the gray numbers, orange trousers, and those gray helmets with the black numbers, or black WD on the side, as Marion comes out. I formation once again, 2nd down and 10, no gain by Mowinkle, as they're going to hand it off to Higgins, and he's going to be wrapped up as 2 Hawks combine on that one, Libana and Morris, as he brings it out to the 36-yard line. That's a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6 here for the Indians.
And as I went through a Marion season so far, Jamie, and their 5 wins, as you'd expect, Mowinkle's had big games, a couple 200-yard rushing games in there. So as he goes and as Blair Brooks goes, so does this Marion Indian team. So
3rd down and 6 for the Indians. I formation for Paulson, as he's going to roll out to his left. He looks to pass under pressure. Brees is on the pursuit. He's going to run with it now. Now he's going to throw it. Oh, and he overshoots his intended receiver, looking for the tight end, Grant Mapp. Mitchell Mangold there on the coverage for the Hawks. And it'll be 4th down and 6 for the Indians, as they are in their home red uniforms, red tops, red helmets, and gray trousers with the white numbers. And, of course, the big M on the side of the helmets, both sides of the helmets, as they will punt it away. And punting here for the Indians is going to be Alex Whalen. As Whalen comes in here, as it's going to be It's going to take a bounce, and the Hawks are going to let it go. It's going to be at about the 32-yard line is where the Indians will pick it up as Whalen. As that was Paulson, Paulson on the punt. He's got a 38.1 average on the season punting. 59 was his long. That was a punt of 22 yards that time by Trevor Paulson. As the Hawks come out offensively here, still no score. 10:27 left to go, first quarter. The Hawks come out in the pistol formation, 4 wide receivers at the disposal of Nick Casey. Behind him is the tailback Curley. They give to him on 1st and 10. He's up to the 36-yard line. Is out to the 36 as Curley is brought down by Nick Cole. As that'll be a gain of 4 yards there on first down. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Hawks as they come set quickly, pistol formation. He looks to pass, looking to that far sideline. He's got Logan Wynn. He's got it for the first down, and Wynn is knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Dawson Kirk, the free safety, one of the cornerbacks for the Indians, is going to run him out of bounds. It's going to be 1st and 10 Hawks, ball at their own 45-yard line.
That's just a good pitch and catch there from Casey to Wynn. And, those defensive backs from Marion are playing 10 yards off the ball there, and that's just a nice catch by Wynn and hauling in, getting the first down.
Here comes Casey to give us to Curley right up the middle. As he's going to come up, he's going to be brought down that time. Coming up and making the stop is Caleb Wagner for the Indians, as Wagner was the first Indian to get to him that time. But Curley gets it out to the 48-yard line. A gain of 3 brings up 2nd down and 7. Quickly back to the line of the Hawks. Casey, pistol formation. He looks to throw. Now he looks left. Now he looks right. He's going deep down the field. He overshoots everybody as he was looking for Logan Wynn. Dawson Kirk on the coverage for the Indians, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 7 for the Hawks.
Well, good throw. I mean, that was a good throw by Nick in terms of, Logan was the only one that was going to be able to get it. It was just over his head a few yards there, but those are the types of plays, Jamie, that will come in, pay dividends later on in the game, stretching that defense out, and hopefully Nick and Logan can connect on one later on.
3-by-1 formation here for the Hawks as they come set in the pistol formation. 3 receivers to the left for Casey. He throws across the middle. He's got Tyler Kelly. He's down the sideline, down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. As stopping him that time was Ben Woods, but it's good for a West Delaware first down now in Marion territory. Down to the 29-yard line is where they're going to mark the Hawks, and it'll be 1st and 10. The Hawks with trips again to the left. Nice catch by Kelly as they're going to quickly go right back to the air. That outside route to Kelly, he catches it, but he's on the ground. He's down inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. That's a gain of 5. Connor Whalen there on the stop for the Indians. Gain of 5 will bring up 2nd down and 5 for the Hawks.
Yeah, nice job there by Tyler of going down and getting it, securing the catch, and it's 5 on first down, so it puts you in a second manageable here. Gives the Hawks offensive coaching staff something to play with.
Casey comes set to give to Curley up the middle, and he's met at the line. Oh, maybe a face.
Yeah, it looked like
come out of that. As coming up and making the stop was Nick Cole, and he's going to lose a couple yards on that one. It'll be 3rd down and 7 here for the Hawks.
I'm with you, Jamie. It looked like the way his head came down, it looked like somebody had a hold of his face mask. That's not a normal way to get pulled down, but nonetheless puts the Hawks in a 3rd and 7 here.
2 receivers to the left. It's Kelly and Mangold. As in the slot is Cook. They're going to pass. Got a man wide up, but he underthrew it. It's picked off by Dawson Kirk, intended for Cabron Cook, but Casey underthrew it. It's picked off by the Marion Indians. So our first turnover of the game here goes in favor of the Marion Indians, and they will have it 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Yeah, I think if Nick could have gotten just a little more juice on that, the receiver was behind the D-backs there. He just wasn't able to get it, and it's picked off, unfortunately. But
still no score, nothing. 8:24 left to go. First quarter, the Indians come set to give us to Mo Winkle. He tries to go up the middle. He's going to be wrapped up there. Ben Ridenauer comes up and makes the stop for the Hawks at about the 26-yard line. Is where he's brought down there. That'll be a gain of 2 yards for the Hawks that time. And it'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Indians. So the Hawks had a good drive going there, but turned it over on the interception by Dawson Kirk. And now the Indians come set shotgun formation. 2 backs next to Paulson in the backfield. The receivers split out each way. As Paulson comes set, he takes a snap. as he looks to pass, goes to his left, and that's almost, I believe it was Goebel who got his hands on it that time, as Goebel knocks it down. It's 3rd down and 8 upcoming for the Indians.
Yeah, it's just the benefits of having a 6'4" defensive end up front there, able to get those big mitts up and knock that ball down, similar to Anthony Nelson and Matt Nelson for the Hawkeyes. It's just those big guys. It's hard to get the ball over them when you're trying to complete passes.
So 3rd down and 8 for the Indians. Ball at their own 26-yard line. As shotgun formation, just one back next to Paulson in the backfield as he looks to throw. Looks to his right. Now he's rolling to his right. Looking down the field. He's got a man out there, and it's incomplete. Incomplete, as he was looking for Braden Svoboda, as Mitchell Mangold was there in the coverage for the Hawks, and it'll be 4th down and 8. Hawks catch a break there. Svoboda couldn't come up with that one, and the Indians will punt it away, as deep to receive this punt for the Hawks is Drew Wibena and Gavin Soppy. Wibena with 7 punt returns on the season for 34 yards. See if he can return one here, as Paulson will punt this one away. It's high, and it's going to be Soppy's going to let it roll, and it's going to be picked up by the Indians at the 30-yard line, as coming up and making the stop that time Mason Ray, upon a 44 yards by Trevor Paulson, and the Hawks take over again, this time at their own 30-yard line. 7.5 minutes to play in this first quarter. Still no score between the Hawks and the Indians. As Casey will come set, that pistol formation. The Hawks still really haven't been able to get the run game going here, as they come set with 2 receivers to the right. Casey hands to Curley, right side. He cuts back up the middle, as it's going to be a gain of 1 or 2 that time by Caleb Curley, as they're going to put it down at the 32-yard line. A pickup of 2 yards that time. Mason Ray on the stop for the Indians, the linebacker, with 21 total tackles on the season. He does have an interception as well, as Casey comes set this time. 3 wide receivers to the left. He throws across the middle. It's tipped at the line, but caught by Tyler Kelly. That's good for a Hawk first down, as they're out to the 46-yard line. A gain of 14. Connor Whalen on the stop, but the Hawks move the change with that first down, and it's 1st and 10 West Delaware at their own 46-yard line.
It was just a nice job of Tyler finding the soft spot there, right in the middle of the field. And even though the ball got tipped, there was enough gas on it for it to get to him and him pick up a good gain and get a first down.
As they give to Curley, left side, he's met at the line by a host of Marion Indians, as the last one to come in and bring him down that time was Wagner. As Wagner, 40 total tackles on the season, 3 of those for loss. He has 2 sacks and 1 fumble recovery on the season for the Indians. As no gain on that play, the Hawks have it 2nd and 10 at their own 46-yard line. 6:25 left to go first quarter, no score. Casey looks to pass. He's rolling to his right. Now he's looking down the field. Now he's going to heave it up, and Logan Wynn was calling for it, and Wynn is going to come down with it at the 20-yard line. They'll give it the 21. Dawson Kirk was there.
Wow, what a nice grab by Logan Wynn. Great concentration, Jamie. Kudos to Caleb Curley, though. He picked up a big block there on Ja'Cory Higgins. He was blitzing up the middle, and Caleb picked it up, gave Nick enough time to throw the ball downfield, and picks up the big gain by Logan Wynn.
Gain of 33 on that play for the Hawks. 1st and 10, they have it at the Indian 21-yard line. As Casey comes set, pistol formation. Again, behind him is Curley. He rolls to his left, under pressure. Casey avoids the pressure. Now he's looking. He's got a man wide open in the end zone. It's Cameron Cook. Can't come up with it. He had it wide open in the end zone, and he dropped it. Connor Whalen was there on the coverage. Whalen was there, but Cook was wide open, and he dropped it. It would have been a 21-yard touchdown pass from Casey to Cook, and sometimes, Aaron, those are the hardest ones to catch.
Well, Cabron knew he was open, and there wasn't anybody around him, and you're right, Jamie. Sometimes it's hard to keep your focus, but nice job by Nick Casey of slipping away, though, from Higgins once again and finding Cabron Cook.
They sent Cook in motion. They hand it to him on the end around, and he's up the middle, and he's going to be tripped up as Alex Whalen makes the stop there on Cook. They're going to mark him down. They're going to put this ball down at the 13-yard line, a gain of 8 for Cook that time. And it'll be 2nd down. Alex Whalen made the stop. As the Hawks going in, 3rd down and 3 upcoming for the Hawks. They're going to give fake to Curley, rolling left and finding a man wide open. Is Mangled down near at the 7. He's going to be run out of bounds as Alex Whalen makes the stop that time on Mitchell Mangled, but it'll be good for a West Delaware first down. It'll be 1st and 10. Ja'Cory Higgins also there for the Indians as they put it 1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
Looked like the same play, and I think Cook was open in the end zone, pretty much the same spot he was before, so.
As the Hawks will come set. Now they're going to bring in the power package, the I formation, Brees in at the tailback, or the fullback, excuse me, as lining up under center is Nick Casey. They're going to hand off to Curley up the middle. He spins around 1. He's down inside the 2 to the 1, or going to be stopped at the 2. There'll be a pickup of 2 for the Hawks that time. Caleb Wagner there for the Indians. And it'll be 2nd and goal for the Hawks. We'll see if they give it to Brees this time. As they like to give it to him and just let him quick hitter fort his way into the end zone. Give it to Brees up the middle, and he's in for the touchdown. Touchdown, West Delaware. Jordan Brees out. And the Hawks.
Nice job there by Jordan, just keeping the feet moving. It looked like he got stopped initially, but then just did a nice job of keeping the legs turning and plowed in for the 2-yard touchdown. Puts the Hawks up 6-0 here in this first quarter.
And Caleb Zier will come on to attempt the extra point for the Hawks, 26 of 29 on the season. He missed his first attempt last week against Dubuque Waller. He still has a 90% extra point percentage, or average here on the season. It has Mangled to hold, Hunter Zier to snap. Zier's kick is up, and it is good. Hawks lead 7-0 with 4:29 left to go in this first quarter. We'll take a break and come back. You're listening to West Delaware Football on Mix 94.7 KMCH. Back into Thomas Park. Jamie Vaskey, Aaron Pleen, and Bill Logan back with you. Hawks lead 7-0. 4:29 left to go first quarter. Don't forget, stay tuned to KMCH after tonight's game for this week's area online and playback game of the week is tonight. East Buchanan is at Edco, currently leading that game 14-0. As Mangled will kick off here for the Hawks. It's going to be Ja'Cory Higgins who's going to take it at his own 12-yard line. He's up the middle. He's going to be stopped up. Now he's still on his feet, and they're going to bring him down as he is out to midfield inside into West Delaware territory to the 48-yard line. 42-yard return that time by Ja'Cory Higgins, and a big start this drive for the Indians.
Yeah, Jamie, there's a nice job by Higgins of picking up, catching the ball and following his block. But that touchdown drive by the Hawks, 9 plays, 70 yards, took 3 minutes and 1 second off the clock. Jordan Brees at the 2-yard touchdown run with the extra point puts Hawks up now 7-0 with 4:17 in this first quarter.
High formation here for the Indians as they come set at the West Delaware 48-yard line. Paulson pitches to the left. This is Mo Winkle. He's got a little bit of room out there as Morris. Looks like Morris and Brees combined on the stop that time for the Hawks. As he's out to the 40, down to the 45-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 3 yards that time for Chris Mowinkle, and the Indians have it. 2nd down and 7 from the West Delaware 45. Again, Blair Brooks going to be lined up on the far side of the field for the Indians. As Tyler Kelly out there covering him, as they're going to hand off to Higgins up the middle, and he breaks a tackle. He's got enough for the first down as Drew Wibena makes the stop for the Hawks, and it's going to be good for a first down as he's down to the 36-yard line. Gain of 9 that time for Higgins, and it's good for a Marion first down.
That's right on his average, Jamie. Higgins comes in 420 yards rushing, 48 attempts, 8.8-yard average, so Higgins essentially picking up a first down every time he touches the ball, so the Hawks are going to have to key in on him as well as Mowinkle.
I formation, 1st and 10 for the Indians. Ball at the West Delaware 36. They hand to Mowinkle, left side. He bounces it to the outside, and he's going to be wrapped up as Grant Morris comes up and makes the stop for the Hawks. Logan Wynn also in there as well, as he's actually going to lose a yard here. So tackle for loss there for a little joint effort there by Wynn and Morris. The ball's back to the 37-yard line of West Delaware. It'll be 2nd down and 11 for the Indians.
And it looked like Mowinkle might have ran into one of his linemen. It allowed the Hawks to kind of get a little bit more pursuit, get upfield a couple yards there, and drop him for the 1 yard. They're giving him a no gain, so 2nd and 10 here.
As they're going to go with that tight I formation as Paulson looks to pass. He's throwing down the field, and it's incomplete, looking for Brooks. As Kelly and Logan Wynn out there on the coverage as well. And that pass falls incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 11 here for the Indians. Ball at the 37-yard line of West Delaware. This would be another big defensive stand as the Hawks put up a shutout last week against Dubuque Wahlert. And it doesn't matter what team you're playing. Coach Coates is going to have this team ready as he paces back and forth on that far sideline. I formation once again for the Indians. As Brooks is lined up on the left side of the field for the Indians, as rolling to his right is Paulson, now under pressure. He slips and falls down at the 49-yard line. That'll be a loss of 13 yards on that play. And it's going to be a loss of 14 as they put it down right at midfield. It'll be Justin Brown and Jordan Brees who come in and put the final touches on Paulson that time, and now Paulson will have to head back to punt this one away as it's 4th and long here for the Indians, 4th and 24. Warburton and Soppy deep to receive this punt from Paulson. Paulson's kick is away. It's a spiraling kick. Is away. Hawks get out of the way of that one. It's going to be down inside the 20 to the 16-yard line, and that's where the Hawks will take over 1st and 10, leading 7-0. With 1:54 left to go in this first quarter. A punt of 39 yards that time by Paulson, Trevor Paulson. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Hawks as their drive last time went down the field for a touchdown. They went 70 yards for the score. As this time they're going to start at their own 16-yard line, 2-by-2 this time for the Hawks as they come out in the pistol. Casey with Curley behind him. He pulls it this time. He's going to run it. Up the middle is Casey, and he's going to be stopped up there as Alex Whalen comes up and makes the stop as he's outside the 20-yard line to the 22-yard line. Be a gain of about 6 yards that time for Nick Casey as he brings it out to the 22.
Yeah, you don't see Casey. He isn't going to run the ball much, but when he does, typically it's pretty good decisions, and he picks up pretty good yardage. And again, anytime you can get yourself in a 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5 situation, I think coaches will take that. And I kind of hope maybe this offensive line is going to start leaning on Marion's defensive line for a little bit.
To the right for the Hawks to get the Curley up the middle, and he's going to barrel forward as coming up and making the stop. That time was Grant Meth, but it'll be a 1st down for the Hawks. 1st and 10 for the Hawks as they're out to the 28-yard line. No, that 28-yard line, that's a gain of 6 yards there on 2nd down. As a penalty now, that'll be the first of the game by either team. This is going to be illegal procedure against the Hawks. As the Hawks will jump off sides, and it'll bring up 1st and 15. So the ball's they'll move back to the 20. See where they put this down at. They marked it originally at the 28-yard line. It's going to be back to the 23. Is where the Hawks will have it 1st and 15. Minute left to go, first quarter. Hawks leading 7-0. They go trips to the left. Casey looks to pass, looking for that out route, and he's under pressure, and he's going to try to step up, and he goes down. As credited on that tackle that time was Nate Turner, as Turner tripped him up that time, and Dalton Cannon. As it'll be 2nd and 15 now, as the Hawks did not gain it. They lost a couple on that one. Back to the 19-yard line. As Casey looks to pass across the middle, he's got mangled. Ball's on the ground. They're going to call it incomplete. That pass was incomplete. as Nate Miller on the coverage that time for the Indians. He was the Marion Indian who got in there and broke that pass up on the hit on Mangold. It'll be 3rd down and 19 upcoming for the Hawks. So a lot of work to do here. Here's the try to get something before you punt it away as the Hawks will pass. They're going to throw across the middle, and it's underthrown, looking for Tyler Kelly. Looking for Tyler Kelly that time. And it was Connor Whalen on the coverage for the Indians. And it'll be 4th and 19. 21 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Hawks leading 7-0, and Harrison Goebel will stand back to punt for the Hawks. It'll be Alex Whalen back to receive this punt from Goebel, who's had 30 punts for 1,120 yards, a 37.3 average, as Goebel's punt is going to go out of bounds at about the 43-yard line is where they're going to mark it, and that's where the Indians will take over. 1st and 10 at their own 43-yard line.
And good punt there by Harrison Goebel. And Bill, again, the pregame talked about special teams being key, and Hawks did a nice job there. Goebel did a nice job of punting it off to the side, kicking it out of bounds, and then putting Marion back on their own side of their field. So, but you're right, Jamie, it's been a good first quarter for the West Delaware Hawks. Over 100 yards of total offense, and defense is playing well. So hopefully he can continue to keep it up and keep Marion out of the end zone.
38-yard punt by Goebel as Paulson comes set. He's in a shotgun. He's got split backs beside him. As he rolls to his right, he's looking past. Now he looks back left and throws it deep, and it's going to be incomplete as he was looking for Mowinkle out of the backfield as Logan Wynn was on the coverage that time for the Hawks. It falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Indians.
Man, Mowinkle had a step there on that Logan Wynn. Paulson just overthrew it. So Hawks catch a break there. That ball lands right in Mowinkle's hands. He has a lot of green in front of him.
2nd down and 10. They're going to come set in that I formation this time. As this time Mowinkle is the fullback. They're going to hand off to Ja'Cory Higgins. He bounces out to the left side. He's going to be wrapped up there. As coming up and wrapping him up by the ankles that time was Ben Ridenauer, and Ridenauer brings him down. Nice job by Benny that time coming up, and that's how the first quarter is going to end. As the Hawks lead it 7-0. It'll be 3rd and 9 when we come back. You're listening to West Delaware football from KMCH Sports. Third and 9 for the Indians. They throw across the middle, and that's going to be caught. Blair Brooks comes down with that one, and what a catch it was by Blair that time, as it's going to move the chains. It was 3rd down and 9, and Paulson throws across the middle as we welcome you back. Hawks leading 7-0, just underway, second quarter. Jamie Vaskey, Aaron Pleen, and Bill Logan back along with you, as that's a first down for the Indians in West Delaware territory now, 44-yard line. A gain of 12 that time on the pass play to Brooks, as they're going to hand off to Mowinkle up the middle, and he's got a hole, and he's going to bring it out as Harrison Goebel is going to wrap him up. That's going to be a nice gain that time as he's down to the 35-yard line. As a gain of 9. Gain of 9 by the Indians there. Second down and 1. Ball at the West Delaware 35-yard line. They come set in the I formation once again, as Paulson hands off to Higgins, Ja'Cory Higgins up the middle, and he's down to the 31-yard line, and that'll be good for a gain of 4 as Grant Morris makes the stop for the Hawks. As it was only a matter of time before you were going to hear Blair Brooks' name here, as, of course, the senior, 32 receptions for 464 yards, 9 touchdowns on the season for Blair, as they've got it 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line of West Delaware. As Paulson comes, this is going to be a direct snap, a wildcat formation. It's Mowinkle. He tripped coming out of the backfield, and the first Hawk that wrapped him up that time was... It's going to be Jordan Brees who wraps him up that time. Brees makes the stop after a gain of 1 for Mowinkle. That wildcat formation, he slipped coming out of the backfield and allowed Brees to get out and wrap him up and drive him back after a gain of 1 yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9 for the Indians.
Yeah, it's just tough to get your balance back after you slip, especially with the field conditions being the way they are tonight. And Paulson wasn't able to get his feet back and was only able to gain 1 yard.
So shotgun formation this time. 4 wide receivers for the Indians as Paulson looks to throw a quick bubble screen out to the right side. This is Mowinkle. Almost tackled there. Breaks the tackle of Soppy out there. And he's still on his feet. Ridenauer is going to bring him down. At least I think it was Soppy. And whoever it was is still down out there on the field. As it was Soppy, and he is down on the field. I can't tell what he's holding. It almost looks like he's holding his right elbow or his right arm. As Gavin Soppy just about blew that pass up. And he is holding that right arm. And Soppy going to get help off the sideline from Jason Knowles and Josiah Polito. And it's a gain of 6 yards that time by Mowinkle.
Yeah, Mowinkle was set for about a 2-yard loss. He just was able to squirt away from Soppy and pick up a good gain.
3rd and 4 as Paulson keeps it himself. As the Hawks will wrap him up after a short gain. As Helly right there for the Hawks. Jared Helly, the senior for West Delaware, comes in with 18.5 tackles on the season. And it's going to be a gain of 2. It'll be 4th down and 2 for the Indians. And we'll keep an eye on Gavin Soppy down there on that Hawks sideline. Be a big loss for this Hawk team as Soppy's been very crucial these last couple of weeks. Paulson looks to pass on 4th down. He's got a man wide open. He's got Blair Brooks, and Brooks that's out. He stepped out of bounds. They're going to say Brooks stepped out of bounds. Tyler Kelly pushed him out of bounds at the 15-yard line. A gain of 8 by the Indians. It'll be good for a 1st down. It's going to be 1st and 10.
Yeah, that's your safety outlet, man. Blair Brooks is a good receiver, and Paulson knows it, and he threw a strike right to him, and he was able to pick up the 1st down. Almost broke it loose, stepped on the out-of-bounds line, but nonetheless, 1st and 10 for Marion.
High formation. They give to Ja'Cory Higgins up the middle. He avoids a couple tackles. Drew Woodman is going to bring him down at about the 6-yard line is where Woodman brings him down. That'll be, or excuse me, not the 6. That'll be, 7-yard line. Gain of 8 by Ja'Cory Higgins that time. And I tell you what, he busted through there, and that spin move was very quick by Ja'Cory Higgins.
Well, and he's a big kid, Jamie. He comes in at 6'1", 190, and he's got some good moves. He's got good feet. He's able to accelerate quickly. So the Hawks are going to have to do a good job of tackling him and Mowinkle. They're not going to give it to him.
They're going to hand off to Mowinkle. He's trying to get to the outside, and he's going to bring it down inside the 5 to the 3-yard line, where Mitchell Mangold's going to bring him down. Hawks trying to protect their 7-0 lead here with 8:36 left to go in the first quarter. Mitchell Mangold in on the stop for the Hawks. As Mangold got out there and made the stop, it'll be a 1st and goal here for the Indians. Ball at the West Delaware 3-yard line. As Marion with a lot of time off the clock in this drive. This will be the 12th play of the drive. As they come set in the I formation, Paulson under center. They're going to pitch to Mowinkle right side. He cuts back up and he slips at the 5. He might have got down to the 2-yard line that time as Ben Ridenauer made the stop for the Hawks. Tripped up Mowinkle. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 3-yard line. They're not going to give him a gain on that play. Now they're going to give him 1. It'll be 2nd goal from the 2.
And it's just hard to turn up the field, especially in the middle of the field where Marion is right now. So the Hawks just going to have to dig in here and try and get the stop.
High formation. Paulson keeps it himself. He's in there.
I don't think so.
And they're not calling it yet. No signal. He's going to be down to the 1 yard line. And it's going to be third down for the Indians. It's going to be 3rd and goal for Marion. 3rd and goal at the West Delaware 1 yard line as Paulson comes set. Under center, I formation behind him, and he's left. Ja'Cory Higgins left early, and now they're going to back them up 5 yards. It'll be 3rd down and goal. They'll back it up to the West Delaware 6 yard line. So the Hawks catch a small break there for now.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like both Paulson and Ja'Cory Higgins, I think we both were seeing the same thing. They both kind of moved prematurely there. And so, like you said, good break for the Hawks for now. Hopefully they can take advantage of this and prevent Marion from getting into the end zone here.
It's going to be, they're going to put it at the 5 yard line. So Marion was on the 1 inch line. So now they're going to go shotgun formation. They send Blair Brooks in motion. Rolling to his right, looking to pass, and wide open as the receiver. And no catch. He did not catch it. They're going to say that ball hit the ground. Cameron Cook was there. They were looking for Mowinkle in the end zone. Cook was there, and that pass falls incomplete. And it'll be 4th and goal for the Indians. As I don't know, the officials might have called that a touchdown, but you could see that last little jerk. He was trying to reel the ball back in. And now the Indians will face 4th and goal from the West Delaware 5 yard line. They sent 3 receivers to the right, 1 here on the near side. To the left, that's McAllister. Shotgun formation is Paulson. He rolls to his right. He's looking to pass. Now he's going to look back left. He's going to throw it into the end zone. He's got a man. It's Mowinkle. Mowinkle in for the Marion touchdown from 5 yards out. And the Indians have cut this lead to 1. It's 7-6. West Delaware leading.
And at first I thought Mowinkle was covered up. I saw him coming across the end zone. I thought maybe the Hawks had a defender in front of him and the one off to the side of him, but it's a nicely thrown ball by Trevor Paulson, and Mowinkle hauled it in for the touchdown. And Hawks still up 7-6, though, pending this extra point.
As Alex Whalen on for the extra point. Paulson the hold. The kick is up. It is good. This game is tied 7-7 with 7:02 left to go in this second quarter, excuse me. We'll take a break and come back. You're listening to West Delaware football from KMCH Sports. A 24-yard kickoff by Alex Whalen, recovered by one of the up men. Bryce Tucker was able to come up with that one at the West Delaware 36-yard line. That's where the Hawks will start with it here with 7 minutes remaining in this second quarter. This game is tied 7-7 as the Hawks come back out on offense. They're going to come set with that power package as we're going to have Grant Morris, Jordan Brees, and Caleb Curley in the backfield. As they give us to Curley up the middle, he's going to fight off the right side. As coming up and making the stop was Nick Cole for the Indians. As the Hawks starting on their 36-yard line, that's going to be a gain of 1 by Curley that time.
And that touchdown drive, Jamie, by Marion, 15 plays, 57 yards, took 5 minutes and 13 seconds off the clock. Paulson to Mowinkle for the 5-yard touchdown pass with the extra point, ties the game 7-7 here in the second quarter.
High formation, looking to pass is Casey, and it's looking for Cook. It's going to be incomplete. Connor Whalen on the coverage for the Indians that time, and it'll be 3rd down and 9 upcoming for the Hawks. Ball at their own 37-yard line. 6.5 minutes left to go. This game is tied up 7-7. Hawks scored first in the first quarter on their second possession. Second possession. As Casey will pass here on 3rd and 9. Throwing across the middle, almost intercepted, but it falls incomplete, as it looked like that was Whalen again on the coverage. He was looking for Caber and Cook across the middle. It falls incomplete. It'll be 4th and 9 upcoming for the Hawks.
And there's no sign that the Hawks are punting here. They're waiting.
Maybe Nick Casey will step up and take this punt. He's 6 for 13 passing on the night so far. And let's see what the Hawks do here. Is they're going to line up in shotgun formation. Casey may step back and punt this thing. He will. Casey's going to punt it. Nobody back for the Indians. They thought the Hawks were going for it. It bounces at the 35-yard line as Alex Whalen's going to let this one go and be picked up at the 29-yard line, and that's where Marion will take over on this drive. 1st and 10, a 34-yard punt by Nick Casey. And with 6:18 left to go in this first half, the Indians take over here. 1st and 10 at their own 29, tied at 7. Don't forget, find out what all the area coaches have to say about tonight's game tomorrow morning at 9 on the Coaches Corner with Kevin Shookman right here on Mix 94.7 KMCH. 1st and 10 for Marion. I formation for Trevor Paulson. They're going to hand off up the middle. This is Mo Winkle. He's up the middle. He's up to the 34-yard line. As Logan Wynn makes the stop for the Hawks that time. Gain of 5 yards for the Indians that time, and then got it up to the 34-yard line. The 2nd down and 5 for Marion. They come set I formation, one receiver split out each way for Marion. The deep back is Higgins. They give to Higgins, left side, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. Was that Brownie? It was. Yep. Justin Brown comes up and makes the stop for the Hawks that time for no gain, as Brown just busted through that offensive line of Marion and wrapped up Higgins and dropped him for no gain. And it'll be 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, Higgins had nowhere to go. Brownie just kind of busted through that line and just wrapped him up and dropped him immediately. So that's we talked about at the beginning of the game, who's going to win this battle in the trenches, these offensive and defensive lines. And so far, Marion's held their own, especially on that last drive.
Shotgun formation, 3rd down and 5 here for Marion. Paulson looks to pass on 3rd and 5. He's going down the field. He's got a man wide open. He overshoots Brooks. Tyler Kelly was there in the coverage, but he just overthrew him. He had him wide open, cutting to the sideline. It would have been good for a Marion 1st down, but instead it'll bring up a 4th down and 5. And Marion will send their punt team in. Paulson will stand back to punt this one away with just under 5 minutes left to go in this first half. 7-7 is our score.
You have to play very similar to what us as Hawk fans have seen with Tyler Kelly, just that down and out a little bit, and Paulson just airmailed it a little bit.
Looks like Mangled and Wibana deep to punt for their receiver for the Hawks. This is going to be Wibana. He called for a fair catch. As Wibana calls for the fair catch that time. That's a punt of 30 yards by Trevor Paulson, and it's going to be caught by Wibana at the Hawk 35-yard line. As still, I haven't looked on the sideline to see if I can see Gavin Soppy. If he's still over there on the sideline for the Hawks, we'll have to talk to Bill Logan at halftime. Still don't really see Gavin down there right now, so hopefully he's all right. As 1st and 10 for the Hawks, pistol formation. They hand off to Curley up the middle. He's got some room. He's still on his feet, and the ball's loose, and the Hawks will fall on it. Thank goodness, as Curley lost the ball, and Reed Hogan had to come up and make that recovery for the Hawks. It's a gain of 9 that time.
Give credit to Curley for fighting for those yards. Sometimes when you're doing that, you're holding the ball out a little bit, and the ball just kind of pops loose. But thank God for Reed Hogan being in the right place at the right time.
They're going to hand it Curley again, and he's met at the line. Nobody blocked that time. Nobody came up and hit Nate Miller as he came up and blasted through that line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards there, and it'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Hawks. Back at their own 40-yard line as Miller just blasted through that line and then hit a double leg on Caleb Curley. And now the Hawks face 3rd down and 5. 3 wide receivers this time for Nick Casey. They're going to roll out to his left is Casey looking to pass. Now he's under pressure. He's going to tuck it and run, and he's going to lose a couple yards back to the 38-yard line as Jacob Lang came over and made the stop for the Indians. And it'll be 4th down and 7 here for the Hawks.
Man, after that touchdown by the Hawks, they just kind of been stuck in the mud a little bit. So hopefully special teams or defense can pick them up here and maybe get a turnover.
And they do see Gavin Soppy now. Left arm is got wrapped up and taped as Goebel blasts this punt. It's going to bounce at the 21-yard line, take a little Marion bounce before Tyler Kelly picks it up at about the 22-yard line, excuse me. A punt of 41 yards for Harrison Goebel. And Marion will take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line. 3:20 left to go in this second quarter. Hawks and Indians tied here. Week number 8. Of course, the Hawks undefeated in district play. They're 5-0. Marion is 4-1. As the Indians will come set here in an I formation. As under center is Paulson. They give to Higgins right up the middle. And Higgins is going to be wrapped up. Harrison Goebel's got a hit wrapped around him. Justin Brown also in there for the Hawks. As it's going to be a pickup. Pickup of 3 that time. It'll be 2nd down and 7 as the ball is out to the 25-yard line. As the Indians huddling up. Not what we're used to seeing with the Hawks is they usually just go that no huddle as one wide receiver split out left for the Indians. That's Brooks, and now Paulson. Looked like they were going to go maybe a direct snap to Mowinkle, but Paulson kind of telegraphed that one for the Hawks as he took off early, but the ball was not there, and that'll be a 5-yard illegal procedure penalty against the Indians. So back it up to the 20-yard line here. Their second penalty of this ball game. As it'll be 2nd down and 12 now for Marion. Ball back at their own 20-yard line. 2.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. This game's tied at 7. As Higgins, the lone setback next to Paulson in the shotgun formation as Paulson will throw. He looks to his right. Now he's rolling that way, directing traffic. Oh, almost intercepted. Cabron Cook jumped the route intended for Grant Meth on that far sideline, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 12 for Marion.
Yeah, nice anticipation there by Cook of just reading Paulson rolling out to his side of the field, and he just kind of stepped in front of the receiver, just couldn't haul it in. But nonetheless, Hawks have forced Marion into a 3rd and long here. So keep everything in front of you and see if they force a punt. Come up with a stop here and at least get some decent field position here. If the Hawks can stop them here. Higgins, early that time as Paulson under pressure. Now he rolls to his left, still running. Now he's looking down the field. He's going to throw it, and Blair Brooks has it. Blair Brooks goes up and gets it at his own 38-yard line. That'll be a gain of 18 yards on 3rd down and 12. Paulson heaved it into the air, and Blair Brooks came down with it. And it'll be 1st and 10 Marion at their own 38-yard line. 2 good individual efforts there by Paulson and Brooks. And the Hawks did a nice job of getting pursuit on Paulson. He just made a good play and found Brooks in the middle of the field for a 1st down. So some breathing room now for the Indians as they come out in the I formation, 1 receiver each way for Paulson. They give this to Mowinkle up the middle. He breaks through that offensive front for the Hawks. Drew Womana, last effort for the Hawks, brings him down at the 45-yard line. Gain of 7 yards that time by Mowinkle. And it'll be 2nd down and 3 for the Indians. And I think Coach Lovell wants a timeout. He'll take one. We'll take one with him. And we're back after this from KMCH Sports.
Back into Thomas Park, Jamie Vasky, Aaron Plain, and Bill Logan back with you. As 7-7 is our score. 1:27 left to go in this second quarter. As Olsen looks to pass, now he slips up. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. Jordan Brees makes the stop for the Hawks. You just heard Gary Dawson bring us back in here, and you can catch 90 minutes of Hawk football talk with him, and head coach Cook Ferris every Wednesday night at 6:30. Right here on Mix 94.7 KMCH as Blair Brooks makes the catch on the near sideline here. Out to the 45-yard line. Tyler Kelly on the stop for the Hawks.
It's like, yep.
There's a penalty marker down.
I think one of the Hawk defenders wasn't off the field in time. Saw him sprinting off there.
12 players on the field against the Hawks. They get 90 minutes of Hawk talk. Will continue this Wednesday night. From Carlos O'Kelly's is the Hawks on a bye week this week. As we mentioned, we will not make any Hawkeye predictions this week with the Hawks being on a bye. As our predictions tonight will be the Iowa State and Kansas game. As we're still awaiting the call from our officials here, as there's only a minute, 2 seconds left to go. Be 4th and 2. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. It was an illegal substitution against the Hawks, so they're going to bring it out to the. It's going to be 3rd down. 3rd down and about 4 yards here for the Indians as they have it now in the West Delaware. They've got it, on their own 43-yard line. Paulson rolls. Max looks to pass. He's going deep down the sideline. He overthrew everybody looking for Blair Brooks. Tyler Kelly on the coverage for the Hawks that time, and that falls incomplete. It'll be 4th down and 4 upcoming for the Indians.
Nice defense there by Kelly. He was with Brooks step for step there, and really nowhere for Brooks to go with it. So nice job there by this Hawks defense after punting the ball away here late in the second quarter to stop the momentum here a little bit that Marion got back on that last touchdown drive a couple possessions ago.
4th and 4, just 52 seconds left to go in this second quarter. Paulson will punt. His punt is away, and will receive his Wilden. Hopefully this takes a good West Delaware bounce and goes into the end zone, and it will. It's going to be a touchback. Just racing down there for the Indians was Krant Meth, but it goes into the end zone for a touchback, and the Hawks will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. A 56-yard punt. Ooh. They'll net that at 36 with the touchback. As the Hawks have 44 seconds and the ball at their own 20-yard line.
We'll see how creative, how risky Coach Wink and the staff go here. You know, you kind of a couple options. You kind of take a shot, maybe see if you can get a big gain on a run play here to start, or maybe take a shot downfield, or maybe you're just content right now with the conditions and stuff going in 7-7. So,
well, the Hawks will have to hurry. Just 5 seconds left on the play clock here. As the Hawks, Casey will take the snap. They got it off with about a second left, and here goes Curley. You mentioned that run play as he's out near the 30-yard line. They're going to give him up to the 32-yard line, and it looks like the Hawks, see if the Hawks take a timeout here.
They've got all 3 left, so can't take them with you.
As Corey Higgins made the stop for the Indians that time. Quick pass, bubble screen, it's mangled, and it's going to fall incomplete. As on the coverage that time for the Indians was Connor Gorton. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 10 here for the Hawks. 29 seconds remaining. Again, this game tied 7-7. And they're at their own 32-yard line. As they're going to go 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right here. For West Delaware, pistol formation for Casey. They hand off to Curley. Up the middle, he bounces back at the 35. He's out near the 40. Can be brought down about the 30, 38, 39-yard line. 39-yard line, that'll be a gain of 7 for the Hawks. Mason Ray on the stop, and the Hawks, I think they're going to be content taking this to halftime. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we're going to take a look at our Hawks in the NCAA. We'll see if Delaware freshman head coach Bob Morris will stop by as well. But we're going to go to halftime, tied up 7-7. The Hawks scored first. The Indians answered, and it's been defensive battles since then. We go to halftime, tied at 7, and we're back after this from KMCH Sports. Back into Thomas Park, it's halftime, 7-7 between the Hawks and the Indians. And joining me is West Delaware freshman head coach Bob Morris. His team stayed undefeated tonight as on the freshman level with a 48-20 victory over the Indians in this first game. But your boys have had a busy week. They had that fresh, soft game on Monday night against Dubuque Wahlert, and I tell you what, that was a good game. You guys lost the game 18-7. I tell you what, go back to that. That's a learning experience for your team to be a part of.
Absolutely. I think we had about 8 or 9 of our guys played with the softs to kind of help out a few spots where they're a little short, and we've got a lot of skilled people that you need to be challenged to get a little more work. We've got the 2 big boys that gave them a little more of a challenge up front against some more mature kids. Held their own really well, and I think the more we can do a little bit of that, they get so many games, it helps give them confidence. And the sophomore coaches as well as the varsity coaches get another look at those guys. And anytime that we can bond our fresh sophomore together, which we do a lot in practice, but on the field as well, that's our future varsity. So very pleased. The results weren't what we wanted, but a lot of times we look at those kind of games more scrimmage, help each group get better, and then go out and play their game, which is where we were tonight.
Absolutely, in that game tonight, a 48-20 victory, and actually a real close game at halftime. I think you guys were up 20-6 or something like that, 20-12
yeah.
At the halftime break. But this Marion team really gave you guys fits in that first half, and a lot of concentration issues. I know I heard you guys mentioning on the sideline in that first half, but you got things corrected. Came out in that second half and really dominated the rest of the way.
Well, absolutely. What happens with young men when they're playing in a lot of success, which they have had, and you start to lose a little focus on some of the things the basics that you need to go back to. As coaches, we can certainly see that and work on those things and challenge them to get better. And then some of the balls kind of slip through the hands, and we jumped a little bit, some things that we don't ordinarily do. But those mistakes are all part of football, and it's adversity, which you will always kids handle that well. At halftime, we kind of regrouped on some of the things that they were giving us problems with. Marion has a nice football team. Pete Meserly does a really good job coaching with his young men. And so we knew we would have a good game. And in the second half with the adjustments, and the kids just blocked better, got off the football better, and we weren't jumping around and caught the balls we needed to and got the things done we needed to and got a lot of kids out there and in some meaningful minutes. So that was good for them in the game.
Absolutely. As next week, we're
not sure what Makokada has yet. I think if it is a fresh soft game, usually that's ours, but they have 20-some freshmen, but by the end of the year, you don't know who's all healthy. So we will continue to practice with the kids and get them better. We were able to work on our running back situation a little bit tonight. Got some different guys back there. Got the football. Cross Underwood went out with a little stinger, but he's going to be fine. Kieran Monahan is recovering from his knee surgery and doing a good job there. So it's just a matter of getting everybody healthy and get through this last game and then start the off-season stuff for next year.
Absolutely. This game here we got tonight, it's a good one. Everything we thought it'd be, 7-7 at halftime. What are some things the Hawks, the varsity team here, is going to have to do in the second half?
certainly some of our footing has given both teams some trouble. And mainly is our continue work with our running game. And there's certainly some things out there that we can attack, and they'll talk about that. But I look for a good football game here in the second half. Hawks are really good at making some adjustments. We got some things that we want to attack, so I expect us to come out on top.
All right, Bob, thanks for joining me, and congrats on the win tonight.
Thanks, Jamie.
West Delaware freshman head coach Bob Morris here at halftime. It's 7-7 Hawks and Indians, and we're back after this from KMCH Sports. I might just let this whole song play out. That's a good one. That's an old song if you really want to go old school there. But back here at halftime, 7-7 is our score here at halftime between West Delaware and Marion. As we take a look at our Hawks in the NCAA, as we start with our three big schools. As we start with the University of Iowa Hawkeyes last week, homecoming against Illinois. Congratulations to Aaron, his first win of the season in our picked games, as he was the closest, as Aaron had a total of 47 points. Final score in that game over Illinois, 45-16, as the Hawks move to 4-2 overall, 1-2 in Big Ten play. They are off this week, as this is their bye week. They will play again next Saturday at Northwestern, an 11 o'clock kickoff from Evanston. The Iowa State Cyclones, big upset last week in Norman. They defeated Oklahoma 38-31 on the road. What a big win that was for Coach Campbell and the Cyclones, defeating the Sooners 38-31. They return home tomorrow. That'll be a happy homecoming. It is not homecoming, but it'll be a welcome home party for the Cyclones as they take on Kansas at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, as that will be the game we pick in our picks this week, as John Nagel, a freshman for the Cyclones. He's a 2017 West Delaware grad, a redshirt freshman for Coach Campbell and the Cyclones. UNI Panthers fell last week 38-29 against Western Illinois, homecoming at the Unidome last week. They fall to 2-3 on the season, 1-1 in conference play, as they're getting into the meat of their schedule, as they will travel to Brookings, South Dakota tomorrow to take on South Dakota State. Adam Reth, a senior for the Panthers. Nice article on him in the Cedar Rapids Gazette this morning, as Reth, the 2013 West Delaware grad, against Western Illinois, had 6 total tackles, 1 of those for loss. On the season now is 37 total tackles, 2.5 for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Again, that game tomorrow for the Panthers, a 2 o'clock kickoff from Brookings, South Dakota. The Upper Iowa Peacocks were victorious last week against Concordia St. Paul, as winning that game 34-29, as the Peacocks moved to 4-2. Overall, 4-2 in their conference as well, as Brent Lammers, a 2015 graduate of West Delaware, is a junior at Upper Iowa. As in that game against Concordia St. Paul, Lammers 10 of 21 passing for 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 28 carries for 162 yards and 1 touchdown. 28 carries, 162 yards, and a touchdown for Lammers. As on the season now, Brent is 95 of 166 for 1,203 yards, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he's carried the ball 91 times for 416 yards and 4 touchdowns. Tomorrow, they will host Minnesota State at Harms-Eichscheid Stadium, a 5:07 kick. If you want to watch at home, that game is on KCRG 9.2 tomorrow, if you want to check out Brent Lammers and the Upper Iowa Peacocks. As for Loras College, they fell last Saturday against Simpson College, 31-21 at the Rock Bowl. They fall to 3-3 on the year, 2-2 in conference play. They travel to Wartburg tomorrow, to Waverly, to take on Wartburg at 1:30, as Sam Maloney, a sophomore for the Dewhawks, a 2016 graduate of West Delaware. As in that game against Simpson, he had 1 tackle assist. On the season, he has 3 receptions offensively for 74 yards. His longest was a 33-yard catch for Sam Maloney at Loras. Max Ridenauer, sophomore for Coe College and a 2016 graduate, playing the JV schedule for Coe College, as the varsity team losing to Wartburg 34-7 last Saturday in Waverly, as they fall to 3-2, 1-2 in conference play. They will host Central College tomorrow at 1 o'clock in Cedar Rapids. And Caleb Sparks, a 2017 graduate of West Delaware, a freshman for Iowa Central, as they lost again last Saturday, 26-17 to Fort Scott Community College. They are now 0-7 overall and 0-1 in conference play. They will host Coffeyville Community College tomorrow at 11 o'clock. As on the season, Caleb Sparks has 22 total tackles, 2 for loss, and 1 sack for Caleb Sparks. As we take a look at our scoreboard here, our local scoreboard from around the area on KMCH. Again, anytime you want to look at the scores that we're looking at, go to KMCH.com, and you can see the Friday night scoreboard on our website at KMCH.com. As we take a look at those right now, East Buchanan leading Edco 14-6. Macocata Valley leading North Cedar 33-0. As I'm going to apologize, as I do not see if I can. There we go. Let's turn the phone sideways. Then we can get all the scores. East Buchanan leading Edco 14-6. That game in the 4th quarter. Macocata Valley leading North Cedar 33-0 in the 3rd quarter. At halftime, Independence trails Bent Community 28-14. Also at the half, Cascade leading Waterloo Columbus 42-0. Beckman leading Monticello in the 2nd quarter 14-0. Also in the 2nd quarter, Anamosa leading Mid-Prairie 21-0. And North Lynn leading 34-0 over Starmont. As Bill Logan has returned from the Hawk locker room. And Bill, kind of tough sledding for the Hawks there in that first half, as they went down and scored on their 2nd possession of the game. But the Indians battled back, and it's been a little slow going for both teams. As Coach Morris said at halftime, the field conditions have been a little slippery for both teams here tonight.
Yeah, they have. The Hawks had a good 1st quarter, and Marion had a great 2nd quarter. So it's kind of a little bit of what you expect being two teams that look like a mirror of each other. I still think it's going to go down to a turnover or being able to flip the field on a punt or a turnover, something. One team's going to have to make a big play to maybe take that momentum over to their side. The first half for the West Delaware Hawks, 17 rushes for 50 yards. Curley with 40 of those on 12 carries. 6 out of 14 passing with 1 interception for 93 yards, and all 93 of those were in the first quarter for 143 yards of offense. And they're talking about how slick that field is out there, so they're really concentrating about doing some things that take some plays away from maybe what they want to be able to do. But 143 yards of offense for the Hawks. For Marion, 21 rushes for 42 yards. 32 each by Mowinkle and Higgins, and then Paulson got sacked a couple times, so he's minus 18. 5 out of 14 passing, so the D-backs having a tremendous first half, just 48 yards. So 90 yards of offense for Marion in that first half. They only had 5 in the first quarter. So they came back and had that nice touchdown drive in that second quarter. Hawks put a drive together in that first quarter, so Hawks get the ball right away here in the third quarter, so see if they can take advantage of the first drive.
Well, Bill, we were talking about Gavin Soppy here at the end of that first half, and you mentioned his shoulder is wrapped up there, but when he went down, it looked like he was holding his right wrist, but it kind of looks like it's his left shoulder that's bothering him.
Yeah, it's his left shoulder. He's holding his right hand was holding his left wrist so that he wouldn't move the shoulder. The way they got it wrapped up, if I was a bet man, I'm betting it might be collarbone, but they took his shoulder pads off at halftime and got him wrapped up, so he's not coming back tonight, so that could there. So everybody else just got to suck it up and make a play, and that's what we're looking for: defense or special teams. Somebody's got to come up with a big play, get that momentum over on this side of the field.
All right, Bill. Thanks for your halftime stats. We'll talk to you in the second half.
All righty.
Bill Logan down on the West Delaware sideline tonight and every night for West Delaware football. We'll take another break and come back for the start of the second half. It's 7-7, Hawks and Indians. We're back after this from KMCH Sports. Good, thank you. Back into Thomas Park as we're about to start the third quarter here. Hawks and Indians tied at 7. Aaron, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I just echo what you and Bill talked about. I think it's going to come down to a turnover, a key turnover. I still think, it's going to be who ends up getting the advantage on the offensive and defensive lines. Who's going to start to open some big holes and pick up some big gains on the ground. So we've seen big plays in the air from both teams. Picking up big first downs. Brooks picking up a big first down here in that second quarter to keep their drive going. So, but I still believe that it's going to be who can get their ground game going, who can really control the line of scrimmage. And hopefully the Hawks can do that and kind of gain control and hopefully come out of here with a victory tonight.
So Jordan Brees and Cabron Cook will now be back to return as Cook filling in for Soppy. As Alex Whalen set to kick off, and Whalen has had 4 touchbacks on the season so far. As we are ready to go with our second half. We're tied at 7. Whalen's kick is away, as it's going to be Cook who's going to come up and take it out of bounds at his own 14-yard line. He's going to the far side of the field. Nice big hit over there by one of the Hawks. He jumps over one. He's up to the 40-yard line as Cabron Cook. There's an injured Indian out on the field. I believe that's Ben Woods. Ben Woods, very slow to get up. Now he was slow to go off the field. Now he tosses his helmet. He is laying on his back. As Ben Woods, as Cook returned that out to the 41-yard line, but Woods is in a lot of pain down there on this on the near side hash marks. As now he's going to get back up. As Ben Woods, the injured Marion Indian, coming off the field that time, and has a 26-yard return by Cook. As the Hawks will take over 1st and 10. They're going to come set in the pistol. As Curley, the deep back for the Hawks, trips to the left for West Delaware. Nobody here on the near side of the field. As Curley is he slipped a little bit, trying to come up through the line, and coming up and making the stop for the Indians was Caleb Wagner. And as Curley picks up 2, he's out to the 43-yard line. And another pistol formation here for the Hawks. As Casey looks to pass, he's got Mangle on the little bubble screen. He's got enough for the first down. He's tripped up in Marion territory as he crosses over. They're going to call him down at the 48-yard line. Jacob Lang wraps him up out there, but a nice first down catch there by Mitchell Mangle.
And I like that. Mangle's got speed. He's on the edges there where the turf is a little more secure. So
handoff to Curley up the middle, and he's met at the line. That play was slow developing, and Nick Cole comes up and makes the stop. There's going to be a loss of 2 on that play, back at the 50-yard line, just on the Hawks side of the 50. It'll be 2nd down and 12 upcoming for the Hawks. Just a slow developing play. Casey kind of looked like he took that snap funny, like he slipped trying to retrieve that snap. The Hawks will come set 2nd and 12. They fake the handoff to Curley play. They got a man, and the pass is incomplete, looking for Logan Wynn. Alex Whalen on the coverage. Marion fans wanted a hold. And it'll be 3rd down and 12 upcoming for the Hawks.
And that play, too, just kind of slowly developing. It didn't look like the receivers were able to get their footing and get out there. So early on here in this 3rd quarter, this is a big 3rd down here, Jamie. The Hawks are in a 3rd and long here, so need to keep these chains moving.
Casey sends Curley in motion. Pass coming. Screen is set up. He's got Cook across the middle. Cook can't catch it. Cook couldn't catch it. It was Alex Whalen on the coverage there. It'll be 4th down and 12 as Cook couldn't come up with that one. And it'll be 4th and 12. Let's see what the Hawks do here.
I do that Casey punt again, or
they may have Casey punt it as he stands back, shotgun formation. Takes the snap. The Indians are coming, and he gets it away, and it bounces. And Whalen's going to pick this up, and he's going to be stopped down inside the 10 to the 7-yard line as Mitchell Mangled wrapped him up there. And Marion will take over a punt of 35 yards for Nick Casey. And the Indians take over 1st and 10. They put it down right at the 10-yard line. Nice pursuit that time by Mangle.
Yeah, absolutely, Jamie. I thought Casey did a nice job of getting a good punt off, even with the pressure that was coming in. He did a nice job of getting the punt off, and then the Hawks did a good job then of getting downfield and dropping him before he could get any further.
A lot of heat for Casey taking that punt. High formation upcoming for the Indians. Paulson under center. They give us to Mowinkle, the first man through, and he's wrapped up by Ben Ridenauer at the 11-yard line, a gain of 1 that time. As 2nd play in a row there, we've seen some good sportsmanship from these two teams, hitting each other on the helmets there. And after the plays are over, as it'll be 2nd down and 9. 10 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter. This game's tied at 7. High formation once again, a receiver each way for Paulson. Higgins is the first man through. They give to Mowinkle, the 2nd man through. Harrison Goebel wraps him up at the 14-yard line. Gain of 3 that time by Mowinkle. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 6 for the Indians. So That's where the Hawks have had some trouble here on these third downs.
Yeah, and this is an opportunity for the Hawks to maybe throw up a fence, get the third down stop here, and then maybe get the ball back in Marion field or in Marion territory, and
their third down go-to guy is in Blair Brooks to this point, as they're going to go shotgun formation. 4 wide receivers, 2 each way for Paulson. 9:25 remaining. They look down the field. They're going deep down the field looking for Brooks, and Brooks has got it. He's got it out near midfield at the 48-yard line. Marion has it. It's 1st and 10, as Kelly was there to bring him down, but it'll be another third down conversion to Blair Brooks, and a huge gain that time, all the way out to the 48-yard line.
And he's not just a good receiver, Jamie. He's a good athlete. And he's a state champion in the high jump, and he's a wonderful football player and just a good track athlete.
Gain of 34 that time to Brooks, as they're at their own 48-yard line. 1st and 10 are the Indians. I formation again behind Paulson. They're going to hand the second man through. That's Higgins. He's to the right at midfield. He's just short. He'll be at the 49-yard line. Gain of about a yard for Ja'Cory Higgins, as it was Goebel and Wickman in on the stop for the Hawks. As Marion huddling up here, they're going to come out I formation once again. And what I've noticed is they keep switching their fullback and tailback with Higgins and Mowinkle. It's going to be Mowinkle, the deep man. He goes in motion out to the far side of the field. A quick hitter to Higgins up the middle. He breaks a tackle. He spins out of another one. And he's going to be close to the first down, as it looks like it was Wynn and Goebel combining on the stop that time for the Hawks. As it'll be 3rd down and 1. Gain of about 7 yards there.
Yeah, nice job. But Higgins is just kind of staying on his foot. They had the Hawk defender had him by 1 foot, and he just kept hopping forward, trying to pick up as many yards as he can. So, just like the Hawks had a big third down in their first possession, this is a big third down here for Marion.
High formation for the Indians. They're going to run Paulson right up the middle, and he's got enough for the first down, down to the 42-yard line. Down to the 42, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Indians. East Buchanan has come back to tie the game, or Edco has come back to tie that game with East Buchanan. A touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie that game at 14. Hit that game in the 4th quarter. Have a final from Delhi. Maquoketa Valley defeats North Cedar tonight, 36-0. As Indians come set I formation, they give to Mowinkle. Second man through, and he's got it to the 40, got to the 41. Gain of about a yard as Harrison Goebel makes a stop for the Hawks. As it's at the 41-yard line, it'll be 2nd down and a long 9 yards here for the Indians as they huddle up here again. Game tied at 7. 7 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter. Shotgun formation. 2 wide receivers each way for Paulson this time. He looks to pass. Pump fake. Now he rolls to his right. Now he's going to step up and run with it. He cuts back at the 41. He's tripped up there. As coming up and making the stop, tripping him up there was Goebel. As he gains a yard, it'll be 2nd down and 8. Or excuse me, 3rd down and 8 here for the Indians. Ball at the West Delaware 40-yard line.
I'd like to see the Hawks maybe try something with Brooks where they try and jam him up a little bit. You got to figure they might be going to him, so kind of jam him at the line here a little bit and don't let him get off the line so easily.
And I think what confuses the Hawks is they look the other way before going to him. They go to Brooks again. He's got it at the 32.
Might be short, though.
It's going to be short of real close. Tyler Kelly in on the stop for the Hawks, hitting Brooks immediately. And Brooks looks like he may be cramping a little bit down there. As Blair Brooks is going to come off the field this time, and it'll be 4th down and 1. Ball at the West Delaware 32-yard line. See what this defense has this time. 4th and 1. See if that line has enough to try to stop Paulson in his tracks if they try to go to him again.
Well, you got to figure Brooks is out, so
Higgins is the deep back this time. Mowinkle the fullback, and the quarterback moved. Yes, he did. That was Paulson. He He took off and backed up before the snap came to him, and it'll be a legal procedure penalty against the Indians. And it'll be 4th down and 6. Third penalty against this Indians offense. And they may send see what they do here. It'll be illegal procedures. I saw some substitutions, so the Indians going to send the punt team out. As Paulson is deep to, looks like he's deep to punt. They'll move it back to the 37-yard line of West Delaware.
But be careful here, because this is in that iffy territory where a fake is definitely possible.
High snap. Paulson handles it, and he's going to punt it away, and it's going to go out of bounds as Brooks was back in. So it looked like he may have been cramping just a little bit, as they're going to put this one down at the 9-yard line. 28-yard punt for Paulson. And the Hawks will take over 1st and 10 at their own 9-yard line. 5:12 remaining. Game tied at 7. We're here in the third quarter. As the 1st and 10 for the Hawks. As they come set. 2 wide receivers to the left. They're going to come out in that I formation. Casey under center. Brees the fullback. Curley the deep back for the Hawks. They give to Curley. Left side, he's got a little bit of room out to the 15-yard line. Given the 16, there'll be a gain of about 7 yards there for Curley on 1st down.
And that's kind of what we've seen the Hawks do for 7 games this year, is get a good push here in the second half and start to take control. And hopefully that's a good sign of things to come here for the Hawks.
The Hawks are second drive of the second half. Have it 2nd down and 3 yards here. They give to Brees, the first man, and he still pushes forward as he broke a tackle. It looked like he was going to be dropped in the backfield for a loss, but he came out of there and picked up enough for the 1st down as Whalen made the stop. Alex Whalen made the stop for the Indians. It'll be 1st and 10 Hawks. Ball at their own 23-yard line. So I formation once again for the Hawks. Casey under center. They give to Curley up the middle. He comes back. He's got it at the 20 or 25-yard line out to the 27-yard line as Jacob Lang makes the stop that time for Marion. And gain of 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Hawks. 1 receiver each way for the Hawks. Casey under center, I formation. They give to Brees up the middle. He breaks the tackle. He's out to the, still pushing forward, up across the 40 to the 43-yard line, and that's the kind of power running that Jordan Brees can provide.
Absolutely, and he's such a good contrast to Caleb Curley. He's a little more elusive, probably a little bit faster, but Jordan is he's just a bear to take down. It takes 2 or 3 guys to bring him down, and that's exactly what you're hoping for here late in this third quarter, is start to move the ball, impose your will.
They give to Curley this time as Grant Mess made the tackle that last time for the Indians. Coming up and making the stop this time for the Indians was Nate Miller. As Curley got back to the line of scrimmage, back to the 43. It'll be 2nd down and 10. 3.5 minutes to play in this third quarter. 7-7 is our score. The Hawks trying to get the running game going. They've been successful so far on this drive as they come set in an I formation once again behind Nick Casey, who's under center. They give us to Brees. Right up the middle again is Brees. He's got it. Keep going. He's got it across midfield to the 45 of Marion, down inside the 45 to the 44. Dawson Kirk and Jacob Lang combined on that stop, but that's another 1st down for Jordan Brees.
And not only has this been a very good drive on the ground, Jamie, but it's given that defense a little bit of a breather over there. I think, you're talking about a 5-minute, 16-second drive, the last drive that Marion had. So it's good that this Hawk offense moving the chains here and kind of penetrating that Marion territory and giving that defense a little bit of a break.
See, Jordan Brees can bust one. We've seen him outrun an entire defense before as they give us to Curley, and right there to make the stop was Nick Cole, and the Hawks are going to lose a yard that time. Ja'Cory Higgins also in on the stop for the Indians. They're going to lose 2 yards back to the 46-yard line, and slow to get up is Ben Ridenauer, and he pops right up, and now Josiah Polito's going to come out, take a look at him, and I think Ridenauer's going to have to go to the sideline now. There's now Knowles coming out as well. Checking into the ball game for the Hawks offensively is going to be Cody Wanger. in place of Ben Reinauer. Cody Winger kind of sticking out there. That White, seeing someone new come onto the field really makes him stick out. But I tell you what, Cody Winger will fill in for Ben Reinauer. We've seen Cody in a couple games already this year. As the Hawks lose 2 yards there, 2nd down and 12.
But you got to like what this Hawk offense is doing here on this drive, Jamie. It's all predominantly run. I don't think they've thrown the ball yet. It's all been on the ground and starting to get some push up front there, and that's what we've been hoping for here.
Hopefully the Hawks can stay fresh here, as Brees saw him breathing heavy a little bit ago. As Casey now going to look to throw, and he's under pressure, and he's going to go down. The Indians get to him. It's going to be Isaac Keener who made the stop and the sack for the Indians back at the West Delaware 45-yard line. Loss of 9 yards on that play. And Casey couldn't find anybody open down the field, and by the time he went to throw it away, Keener was in his face and dropped him for the loss back at the 45-yard line. And with 1:45 left to play in this third quarter, we're still tied at 7. Hawks face a 3rd and 21. High formation once again, the fake to Curley. Casey looks to pass. He's going deep down the field. He's got a man out there. Jump ball. It's incomplete. Kelly couldn't come up with it. Connor Whalen knocked it away, and it'll be 4th and 21 for the Hawks.
And the sack was just too much to overcome for the Hawks this time, and they're moving the ball on the ground. The drop for the 2-yard loss and the sack just kind of put them behind a little bit, and unfortunately, probably forces them into a punt here. But the punt should, hopefully with a good punt, you should pin Marion back pretty close to where they were their last possession, back inside the 20 and 15-yard line, somewhere in there. So
now Casey's going to be back in here, as one of the Hawks is going to have to run off the field here, as Casey back to punt here. Casey slips a little bit and then flips when he punts it. As Whalen's deep, he's going to return this one. He fights off one tackle. That was Wynn. Now he cuts across the middle of the field. And Alex Whalen has a lot of room to run here. He's got one man to beat. It's Nick Casey. And he's at the 50-yard line. And Hawks have got to bring him down. And finally bringing him down out there. As the Hawks had finally brought him down out there. Was Hunter Zeezer, the long snapper for the Hawks, right at midfield. Whalen had room to run. The Hawks couldn't catch up with him. I thought once he just had Casey to beat, he would have kept going up the field, but he tried cutting back. But it'll be 1st and 10 Marion right at midfield. 1:09 left to play, third quarter. This game's tied at 7, and Paulson will come set. 2 wide receivers, shotgun formation. 2 backs next to him in the shotgun. And he's going to pass. He's looking right across the middle. Is knocked away at the line. I believe that was Goebel who got his hands up, intended for Brooks. There's Cabron Cook now in defensively for the Hawks.
Man, it looks like they're putting a defensive back on Brooks now, and they're covering up. They're bringing a safety over for safety help as well. So
Edco and East Buchanan headed to overtime in our area online and playback game of the week. So Shooky and Dan have a good one they're calling up there at Edco tonight. As I formation here for the Indians. 2nd down and 10 right at midfield. They give us to Mowinkle. Left side, he's got a hole, and he busts across the 45 down to the 44-yard line. Does Mowinkle, or Harrison Goebel makes the stop there for the Hawks. Gain of 6 yards that time by Mowinkle. Will be 3rd down and 4 for the Indians. Again, Mowinkle, their leading rusher on the season, he came in with 60 carries for 755 yards. That's a 12.6 yards per carry average and 11 touchdowns. So he's been a workhorse in the backfield for the Indians. They hand to, this time is going to be Higgins, and he's got enough for the 1st down. He's at the 40-yard line. That's going to be real close to the 1st down. He's going to get it, though. Right at the 40-yard line is what they needed, and it's going to be good for a Marion 1st down. 1st and 10 Indians at the West Delaware 40-yard line. 24 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Our game is tied 7-7. What a game here in week number 8 between the Hawks and the Indians. Marion trying to stay alive, keep their district playoff hopes alive here. They give us to Mowinkle up the middle. He's going to gain about 3 yards there, as coming up and making the stop that time was Jordan Brees, and that's going to do it for our third quarter. 7-7 is our score. We'll bring you back for the fourth right after this. Next 94.7 KMCH. Back into Thomas Park, along with in-studio producer KMCH and DJ tonight, KMCH News Director Janelle Tucker, Jamie Vasky, Aaron Plain, and Bill Logan back with you as we're tied at 7. We're going to the fourth quarter between West Delaware and Marion, as the Indians have the ball, 2nd down and 8 at the West Delaware 37-yard line, and they will line up in the I formation. 2 receivers split out, one each way for the Indians. They hand it off to Higgins on the right side. He cuts back, and he's still pushing forward, as the Hawks are going to have to gang tackle him, but a nice run there by Higgins, as it looked like it was Matt Wickman who made the stop for the Hawks, but it'll be a first down for Higgins at the West Delaware. Looks like the 27-yard line is where they're going to put it down. 1st and 10 for the Indians.
And Higgins, at the, when he got the handoff, he got back to the line of scrimmage, and he had just a caravan of blockers in front of him, was able to pick up the first down and then some. So
1st and 10, Marion at the West Delaware 27-yard line, just underway. Fourth quarter, 7-7 is our score. Big pitch this time to Mowinkle. He's got some room off the left side as he runs into Jared Helly and Jordan Brees combine on that stop, but a nice run there as Higgins gets it out to the 22-yard line. As they get it out to the 22, that's a gain of 5. 2nd down and 5 here for the Indians. Volleyball fans, don't miss next week's broadcast as postseason volleyball comes your way starting next Tuesday with Edco taking on Central Decatur. As the Indians come set, they give us to Higgins, left side. He's going to be wrapped up there. As coming back and making the stop that time, Derek Krogman into the game for the Hawks. And then Wednesday night, we got West Delaware volleyball coming your way as they will take on Union at Seedorf Gymnasium. John Swisher and Joan Salo will bring you the call of that one starting at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. As postseason volleyball starting next week, as a gain of a yard that time by the Indians. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for them. I formation. Under center is Paulson. They're going to roll to his right, does Paulson. Looking to throw, under pressure. He's got a man wide open in the end zone. It's incomplete. Looking for the tight end, Grant Meth. And that falls incomplete, and it'll be 4th and 4 for Marion.
And the ball has a little bit more juice on it at 6 points. But nice job there by that Hawk front 4 of getting pressure on Paulson and force him out of the pocket and force him to throw the ball a little bit across his body. But this is a big play in the game here. 4th and 4 with 10 minutes to go. And Marion looks like, I don't know if they've got anybody that kicks field goals or.
Alex Whalen has kicked 1 field goal on the season. He's 1 for 1, along of 25. I don't think they're going to be trying a field goal on a night like tonight as Mowinkle, the fullback, Higgins, the tailback here, as under center is Paulson. He rolls to his left. He throws it up in the air. He's got a man wide open. It's Mowinkle, and he's down at the 1-yard line. As they had Jordan Brees on the coverage that time, he brings Mowinkle down as Mowinkle came out of the backfield, out of that fullback position. And he gets down to the 1-yard line. Where Brees brought him down that time, it'll be first and goal at the 1-yard line for the Indians.
That's the second or third time they've run that play where they've kind of flagged him out, kind of like a wheel route or whatever. They flagged him out to the right. You know, he's on. It's Mowinkle against the defensive end, and he's going to win that battle more times than not.
Olsen keeps it himself. He is going to run it up the middle, and he's in for the touchdown. Marion in for the touchdown. They lead it 13-7 with 9:51 left to go in this ballgame. As the Indians drive down the field and score, they take the lead, their first lead of this ballgame. And now Alex Whalen on for the extra point. As Whalen on the season is 12 of 17. If he comes on for this one out of the hold of Trevor Paulson. Low snap, the kick is up, it is off the crossbar and no good. Whalen's kick is off the right upright. I should say upright, not the crossbar. Off the upright and no good. And Marion leads it 13-7 with 9:51 left to go in this ball game. Take a break and come back. You're listening to West Delaware football from KMCH Sports. Back into Thomas Park, 13-7. Marion leads it, 9:51 left to go in this ball game. As Marion looking to go even with the Hawks here, they would move to 5-1 if they win this ball game. West Delaware 5-0 coming into tonight. As Whalen will kick off here, deep to receive for the Hawks. It'll be Cook and Brees. Excuse me, that is not Brees, that's Wibina.
It'll go out of bounds.
That's going to go out of bounds, and it'll be a penalty against the Indians, and they will bring it out to the 35-yard line, and that's where the Hawks will take over 1st and 10.
And that last touchdown drive, Jamie, by Marion, 10 plays, 50 yards, took 3 minutes and 18 seconds off the clock. Trevor Paulson with the 1-yard touchdown run. The Marion did miss the extra point, so with 9:51 to go here in this fourth quarter, Marion leads West Delaware 13-7.
The Hawks will take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line, trailing 13-7, 9:51 remaining in the ball game as Nick Casey will lead the troops onto the field once again here as they will come set in an I formation. Brees in the ball game as the tail fullback. Curley the deep man. Casey under center, hands off to Curley up the middle, and he's met at the line. As coming up and making the stop for the Indians was Nate Miller. Met Caleb Curley at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to lose a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Now the Hawks will send a couple more receivers onto the field, and Goebel and Brees will head out. So the Hawks will come set in pistol formation. Trips to the right for the Hawks. One receiver here on the near side. As Casey looks to pass. Quick out pass. This is Kelly, and he can't come up with it. In and out of his hands. Connor Whalen on the coverage. We've seen the Hawks run that play very successfully this season, and Kelly just couldn't hold on to it that time. It'll be 3rd and 11.
That's normally the go-to play, Jamie, where it's just the down and out by Kelly, and he just wasn't able to corral it in.
3rd down and 11. 3 to the right for Casey and the Hawks as he looks to pass. He's going to throw it across the middle. He's got a man wide open and caught. Logan Wynn. He's got it for the 1st down out to the 47-yard line. That's a gain of 13 yards. That'll give it the 48-yard line. That'll be a gain of 14. And that'll be a 1st down for the Hawks at their own 48-yard line.
That was almost a must-have 1st down, Jamie.
as Casey looks to pass. He's going deep down the field looking for Kelly. He's got him at the 20-yard line. He's caught. And down to the 11 is Tyler Kelly, brought down by Alex Whalen. And the Hawks, a huge gain that time, as it's down at the 11.
Beautifully thrown ball by Nick Casey. Threw it up high enough and far enough that Tyler Kelly, all he had to do was run underneath it, haul it in. He did. Got brought down. Hawks are in business now. First and 10 at the 11.
36-yard completion that time, as the give is to Curley up the middle, and he's going to be brought down. As it's going to be Lang who makes the stop that time. Jacob Lang. As a loss of 1 on that play, it'll be second down and 11 for the Hawks. They have it at the Marion 12-yard line. As Casey comes set, pistol formation. He takes the handoff, looks to pass. He's got Kelly down inside. Sanders the 5 in. Push him in. Let's see if they do. No, he's going to be down inside the 5. See where they put it is someone is still down. It is a Marion Indian, but he's up. That's Connor Whalen who made the stop. Ball's at the 1-yard line. Gain of 11 yards that time by the Hawks. As the Hawks trying to answer the touchdown by Marion. It's 13-7. Marion leads it with 8:14 left to go in this ball game. Yeah, I just do. Hawks trying to answer there.
I was going to say, I thought they were.
It's going to be down at the 1-yard line. First and goal for the Hawks. Casey gives to Brees up the middle. He dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Jordan Brees, as the Hawks have tied this game at 13 with 7:59 left to go in this ball game.
Boy, that's the way to answer a drive. The touchdown by Marion. Jamie kind of felt like the offense they had to have it, and they did. They answered with a couple big plays. A third down conversion by Logan Wynn, and then the big pass play by Tyler Kelly, from Nick Casey to Tyler Kelly, putting the Hawks down in Marion field position, and the Hawks finishing off the drive. So critical extra point attempt right here.
Shades of 2005 when the Hawks defeated the Indians in Manchester 21-20, as all-important extra point here for Caleb Zier. As Zier out of the hold of Mangle. The snap the kick is good, as Caleb Zier gives the Hawks a 14-13 lead with 7:59 left to go in this ball game. And buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. We've got an exciting 8 minutes of football coming your way. Right after this, you're listening to it from KMCH Sports. Back into Thomas Park. Hawks leading 14-13 over Marion with 7:59 left to go, and Mitchell Mangle will come on to kick for the Hawks.
Touchdown drive, Jamie, by the Hawks. 7 plays, 65 yards, took 1 minute and 52 seconds off the clock. Jordan Brees with his second touchdown tonight with the extra point puts the Hawks up now 14-13.
A short kick by Mangle that's going to be taken by Whalen. He's out near the 30-yard line. And the Indians will take over first and 10. A 13-yard return that time by Whalen, as it'll be first and 10 for the Indians at their own 33-yard line. As they come set, I formation, 7 minutes and 54 seconds remaining, and our game is A 1-point lead for the Hawks as Paulson under center. He hands off to Mowinkle. He's got some room up the middle, and he breaks the one tackle. He's down the sideline. He's got up to West Delaware 30, cuts back at the 24, and he picks up a first down as Cabron Cook is finally able to run him down. But that's a huge run for Mowinkle on 1st and 10. They started with it at their own 33. They're down to the West Delaware 22-yard line.
Yeah, and Marion offensive line just opened a big hole for Mowinkle on this side of the field. The right tackle and guard both did a nice job of just creating space. Mowinkle went through it and picked up a big gain.
Gain of 45 on that first down run by Mowinkle. Paulson under center, hands off to Higgins, left side, and he just pushes forward, and he's hard to bring down as I think Justin Brown was grabbed onto his legs and held on for dear life. Drew Woodman came in to help out and bring him down. It's a gain of 5 by Higgins on first down there as they have it down to the Hawk 17-yard line. 7 minutes, 10 seconds left to go in this ball game. Hawks leading 14-13. We told you it'd be exciting. Final 8 minutes of this ball game, and just like that, the Indians have it in West Delaware territory to the Hawks 16. 2nd down and 5. Paulson hands off to, it's going to be Mowinkle. He's brought down that time by Dunstan Warner.
That was a nice job of Warner coming up from his linebacker spot and just filling the hole and dropping him for the short. Didn't get any.
No gain.
Yeah, no gain.
So it'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Indians as they get the play call in from Mitch McAllister, the wide receiver. I haven't heard his name yet tonight. He's their second receiver. As I formation here for the Indians. 3rd down and 5. Paulson under center. He hands off to Higgins up the middle. He's met by Wickman, and Wickman's going to wrap him up, and he's going to be short of the first down as he's down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be 4th down and 2.
Yep, they're on highway.
I think Bill's microphone might be on down there as we're getting a little interference from somewhere. As it's going to be 4th down and 1 for the Indians. They've got it at the West Delaware 13-yard line. They line up under center. I formation. We'll see if they go to Higgins here. Ja'Cory Higgins. They go to the second man. That's Mowinkle, and he leaps the pile. Harrison Goebel brings him down. But that's good for a Marion first down. First, see where they place this ball. I think it's going to be first and 10 at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, that's what you expect out of your seniors, is coming up with big plays when you need them, and Mowinkle does just that, picks up the first down. So
they're waiting to set the chains as our line judge from the far side blew his whistle, and he's coming in to talk to our referee. As they're going to reset the play clock here. 1st and 10 for the Indians at the West Delaware 11. I formation for Paulson. He's going to pitch it out to Mowinkle, left side. Mowinkle down to the 10. As I believe that was Logan Wynn who wrapped him up by the legs that time. A gain of 1 by Mowinkle. It'll be 2nd down and 9 here for the Indians.
Nice tackle there by Logan and not letting him get in more than the 1 yard. And the Hawks are going to have to do here, backed up in their own territory. They're going to have to, sure tackling, gang tackling, play good team defense, and hopefully keep Marion out of the end zone.
5 minutes to play. Hawks lead by 1. It's 14-13. I formation for Trevor Paulson. He pitches to Higgins, right side. He cuts back at the 7. He's down inside the 5, still pushing forward. I think Tyler Kelly came up and wrapped him up that time for the Hawks, but it's going to be a nice game there for Higgins as he's down to the West Delaware 5-yard line. That's a gain of 5. And it'll be 3rd down and 4 upcoming for the Indians. They can still get a first down. They need to get to the West Delaware 1-yard line for the first down. As there's just 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this ball game. As they come set in the I formation. Higgins the fullback, Mo Winkle the tailback for the Indians. 3rd and 3. And Paulson wants a timeout, and we will take one with him. Hawks lead 14-13, 3:59 remaining in the ballgame, and we're back after this from KMCH Sports. Stay tuned after our game here tonight for the Okoboji Grill postgame show, brought to you by Okoboji Grill in Independence, where good friends meet. 3rd down and 4 for the Marion Indians. They have it at the West Delaware 5-yard line. The Hawks lead this game 14-13 with 3:59 left to go in the 4th quarter. It's been an exciting game from the beginning. Both teams kind of went into a lull there in the 3rd quarter, 2nd and 3rd quarter. The Indians scored in the 2nd, but then mostly defensive in that 2nd, 3rd quarter. But the offenses have come to life here in the 4th. Marion has it 3rd and 4, I formation. As quick pass, they're going to run the fade to Brooks, and he overthrew him. Paulson was looking for that fade route to Blair Brooks in the end zone. Mitchell mangled on the coverage. There's a height advantage for Blair Brooks as he stands 6'3". Mangled comes in at 5'10".
Well,
and it's going to be 4th and 4, and they may send the field goal unit on.
You and I both pointed to that when Brooks was out on an island with Mangle. We thought that was the matchup they were going to exploit. They did. Marion just overthrew it there a little bit.
Alex Whalen on for the field goal. He's 1 for 1 on the season. His one field goal was from 25 yards. This one will be from 22. And a penalty marker. As it's going to be a legal procedure against the Indians, so it'll be back at the 10-yard line. So now this will back it up to a 27-yard field goal. 4th penalty against the Indians in this game. 1 for the Hawks, which the Hawks can win this game. That's one of the bright spots Coach Winkowicz will enjoy afterwards, but a 27-yard field goal upcoming for Alex Whalen out of the hold of Trevor Paulson. The snap is good. The kick is up. It's got the distance, and it is good. From 27 yards out, Alex Whalen puts the Indians up 16-14 with 3:51 remaining in this ball game. And what a game it has been. We will take another break and come back. You're listening to West Delaware football from KMCH Sports. Back into Thomas Park. Indians lead at 16-14, 3:51 remaining in this ball game, and Alex Whalen will kick off a little slow squib kick. It's going to be picked up by one of the up men by the Hawks. It's going to be Jack Newhouse on the return for the Hawks that time, and it'll be 1st and 10. For the Hawks, ball at their own 37-yard line.
And that last scoring drive, Jamie, by Marion, 8 plays, 57 yards. Took 4 minutes and 3 seconds off the clock. Alex Whalen with the 27-yard field goal puts Marion up now 16-14 with 3:44 to go in the game.
Pistol formation for the Hawks. Casey will throw. He's looking down the field. He's got a man across the middle. That's Kelly. He's got it at the first down marker out to the 48-yard line of West Delaware. He's going to be brought down by Ja'Cory Huggins. And it's 1st and 10 West Delaware at their own 48. 3:37 remaining in this ball game. Hawks trail by 2 at 16-14.
The Hawks have all 3 timeouts left, so no need to get in a rush here. You got plenty of time, all 3 timeouts.
Pistol formation. Casey looks to throw again. Now he's under pressure and he throws. They got to say that's incomplete. They're saying the officials are going to talk about it as we're gonna see what the call is. If the Indians say they have it, I thought Casey's arm was going forward here. Now the officials are going to talk about it, and it's going to be a fumble recovered by the Indians. Coach Winkowicz wants an explanation. As the Hawk coaching staff is livid over there on their sideline. As after the deliberation, they did not make a call at all, and Marion will take over at the West Delaware 44-yard line. As the Hawks turn it over there on the fumble by Casey as he stepped up to throw, the ball came out. Looked like the Indians may have got a hand on it. Their second turnover of this ball game. As the Indians come set, they hand to Mowinkle up the middle. Logan Wynn comes in and wraps him up by the legs. And now a penalty marker. That might be against the Hawks. As that was in the Hawks huddle. That could be against the Hawks. I think one of the Hawks might have said something there. It was a gain of 1 that time by Mowinkle. Up to the 43-yard line. And it's going to be personal foul against the Hawks. It is. Second penalty of the game for the Hawks. And this one's a big one, a 15-yard penalty. I know you just turned the ball over and emotions are running high, but you've got to keep it under control in that situation.
Yeah,
you've got to keep it under control.
Yeah, you still have, like I said, you've got over 3 minutes to go and still have all 3 of your timeouts. So we're still, there's still time here, but these penalties, they're just like you said, Jamie. It's something you got to keep it under control and keep a level head.
So after the penalty, that'll put the ball at the 26-yard line of West Delaware. And Aaron, you mentioned that this defense is running on fumes at this point. Hopefully they can find some gas left in the tank as they hand off to Higgins, right side. He's going to be wrapped up by Goebel. Slowed him up, but coming up and finishing him off was Justin Brown. As the gain of a couple that time as they'll put it down at the 24-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Indians. 2:45 remaining in this ball game. Hawks trail 16-14. The Indians have the ball in West Delaware territory down to the 24 now.
And you got to figure if they can get, prevent Marion from getting the first time, give up a yard or 2 or hopefully nothing, but you're going to have to start burning timeouts.
High formation for the Indians. Paulson hands off the first man through. That's Higgins. And he's going to push forward down inside the 20 to the 16-yard line, and that'll be real close to an Indian first down, and it is. 1st and 10 Marion at the West Delaware 15-yard line. So the Indians pick up a first down, and that'll run the clock again with 2:14 left to go. We'll see when the Hawks have yet to call a timeout. 16-14, they trail it. High formation for Marion. Mowinkle is the tailback. Higgins is the fullback. They're going to wait to take as much play clock off as they can. The handoff is to Higgins up the middle. Jared Helly is going to wrap him up first. Jordan Brees comes in to help out, and Coach Winkowicz and company will take their first timeout of the second half with 1:48 left to go in the ball game. We'll take one with them and come right back. You're listening to West Delaware football from KMCH Sports. Back into Thomas Park, and Marion Hawks trail 16-14. 1:48 left to go in this game. Hawks out of their first timeout. I formation for the Indians. They hand off to Higgins up the middle. Justin Brown wraps him up as he gets the ball. So nice job there by Brownie, and the Hawks will take another timeout, their second. Derek Krogman in on that stop as well for the Hawks. As we'll keep it right here. 3rd down and 11 coming up here for the Indians. And don't forget, we talked about that thrilling game in Edgewood tonight. East Buchanan winning that game in overtime, 20-14 the final. That's our area online and playback game of the week, so stay tuned after our coverage here as we will send it to Kevin and Dan with the call of that one. It was a good one. Some other scores: Maquoketa Valley victorious tonight over North Cedar, 36-0. That'll set up a Week 9 showdown with Bellevue. That'll be our area online and playback game of the week next week, as that'll be for playoff implications. The winner of that one will go to the playoffs. The loser will more than likely stay home. Independence falling to Benton Community tonight, 35-14. Cascade all over Waterloo Columbus, 56-6. Beckman at the half led Monticello 17-0. Anamosa leading Mid Prairie 28-0 in the third. And a final, Northwind defeats Starmont 34-6. There's a final there from Northwind's homecoming tonight, and now Marion will call a timeout. So the Indians will take a timeout, as looked like Mowinkle came up a little lame as they were heading back to the huddle there, or heading back to run the play. So the Indians call a timeout. So still 1:40 left to go in this contest. Also, you can hear with the top-ranked team in Class 4A, West Des Moines Dowling goes down tonight. Ankeny Centennial knocks them off tonight, and the top-ranked team in the nation, or the second-ranked team in the nation, goes down tonight as Clemson was upset by Syracuse tonight, 27-24, the final in that one. So Syracuse knocks off Clemson tonight in college football. And normally I'd tell you to tune in for Hawkeye football tomorrow, but they are on their bye week tomorrow. They will head to Evanston next week to take on Northwestern, and 11 o'clock kickoff for the Hawkeyes. Is two out of the three guys in this booth are going to be at that ball game. The one's just going to stay home, I guess. Well, I guess Rob Brooks is over here as well. So there's another one. So the Indians come set. Third down and 11 here for the Indians, and Olson's going to run it himself up the middle, and he's going to go down near the 1-yard line. As a big run there for Trevor Paulson. That's a big one.
Yeah, and I think the Hawks, did they even have?
No, they only have 10 guys on the field.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We only got 10 guys on the field. I don't know if Bill has any way to relay that information.
Yeah, we have 11 now.
We have 11.
3.
We only had 10 guys on that last play.
Yeah.
So 1:05 left to go in this ball game. Marion has it 1st and goal on the 2-yard line after the run by Paulson. And Paulson is going to take a knee. That's going to do it. The Indians do not have to run another play, and the Hawks are going to fall in this game 16-14. That's going to do it. The Hawks, even if they do use their last timeout, it's not going to do anything, as the Indians will have to run one more play here, and this game will be over as the Hawks will fall 16-14 tonight as 30 seconds remain in this ball game. Indians will take one more knee, victory formation for Marion, and the Hawks record will fall to 6-2 overall, 5-1 in district play. However, the Hawks will be in the playoffs with a win over Maquoketa next week.
Yeah.
The Hawks, they can win over Maquoketa next week. They would guarantee themselves a playoff week, because Marion will travel to Davenport to take on Davenport Assumption. I believe, is that a Thursday night game? It is next Thursday, so we will know by Thursday if the Hawks will have to go. Marion, West Delaware, they win the district. They needed to beat Marion tonight to win the district. And one more win gets them into the playoffs. Marion, they win the district. They needed to win out, so they will have a big matchup against Davenport Assumption next week as the Hawks fall here tonight, 16-14. Stay tuned for the Okoboji Grill postgame show as it comes your way next, right here on Mix 94.7 KMCH. And welcome back into the Okoboji Grill post-game show, brought to you by Okoboji Grill in Independence. If you're looking for great food and a unique atmosphere, then make Okoboji Grill your next lunch or dinner destination, or enjoy 2-for-1 happy hour every Monday through Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. That's Okoboji Grill, 1749 Golf Course Boulevard in Independence. Okoboji Grill, where good friends meet. So back here, and it was a good game. I tell you what, that was fun to watch, but unfortunately for the Hawks, they fall tonight 16-14 as Bill Logan joins us from the West Delaware sideline. And the Hawks had some things going. We started seeing some things click in that second half, but near about second half, we started to see some fresh faces in there, some fresh jerseys anyway for the Hawks, as they got bit by the injury bug a little bit tonight.
They had a couple kids that got hurt, but we just got to get a little more effective running game. Just able to do that real consistently here as of late, and it cost the Hawks a little bit tonight. But a couple calls that didn't go the Hawks' way, and a couple big plays right there late in the fourth quarter that they got that momentum over there on the west side of the couldn't quite overcome it.
Absolutely. Well, you got to credit Marion though. They're fighting for district championship and making the playoffs, as they're looking to make the playoffs for the first time since 2013, and they needed to win out basically to get into the playoffs, and they took their first step here. So you got to credit Marion tonight on the job that they did.
Yeah, it's just one of those games where two teams that almost identically is what they do. Marion just ran the ball a little more effectively tonight. Wore us down, beat us up maybe a little bit. Got a couple of those injuries. Hopefully they'll get nicked up. But, now we just got, that game Thursday night down at Assumption. If Assumption wins, that puts the Hawks as district champs as long as we win Friday night against Pococota. So, even though we lost tonight, the district is still kind of sort of in our hands. Marion will be going in as an underdog to Assumption, playing down at Assumption. So that'll be a big game, and it'll be one of the biggest games Marion's played in quite a while, giving them an opportunity to make it into the playoffs. But Marion played well tonight. 48 rushes for 176 yards. Mo Winkle, 21 carries for 99. Higgins, 19 carries for 76. So quite a 1-2 punch there rushing. 8 out of 20 passing for Paulson, 110 yards to 286 yards of offense. They only had 90 at halftime, so they did a nice job of cranking it up there a little bit in the second half. For the Hawks, they rushed the ball 29 times for just 83 yards, 46 on 19 carries by Curley. 11 out of 23 passing with 1 interception, 179 yards passing for Nick Casey, 262 yards of offense for the Hawks. So one of the few times you'll ever see the Hawks get out game.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, we talked about Blair Brooks coming into this game, Bill, and he was everything advertised. When they needed a big third down conversion, they knew who they could go to, and he came up big for them tonight.
Well, he did. You know, they had a couple of big third down, had a couple of fourth down conversions. You know, they just had some things go their way tonight. You got to give them all the credit. You know, they did what they needed to do in the contest. You know, so congratulations on them tonight. And, you know, not so much luck next Thursday night.
Yeah, we hope that the Hawks can get in as a district champs. Of course, it's going to take a win from Davenport Assumption to secure the Hawks. Of course, they got to win as well, getting into the playoffs if with that win over Makokata next week. Well, Bill, no Hawkeye game to pick tomorrow. You know what we should have done? I never even thought of this, even though we're picking the Cyclones. The over-under is about 64 points. Cyclones are favored by 20, but really what we should have done is done the game one of the NLCS predictions is what we should have done, but we can
change the rules.
We can change the rules.
We can change the rules anytime we want. How bad do you think the Cubs are going to lose? That's what I want to see.
I tell you what, you know, the reason we're not going to do that is because
I'm going to win.
Because it's going to be three for one, so we're just going to be fighting with each other up here in the booth. Where they're going to have it all the way to the piggy bank. Well, I tell you what, we'll get Aaron. Aaron gets to go first in the Iowa State game. Bill, you shocked me, Aaron. You said it was going to be weird for you having Aaron go first, but he gets to go first here tonight as Aaron, Cyclones, and the Kansas Jayhawks tomorrow.
Kansas is not good, and Iowa State is a much better, much improved team. I really like their new quarterback.
Which one?
Yeah,
Lanning or Kemp?
No, either one. I think Iowa State's gonna win big. Follow up that big win last year. I'm gonna go 45-7, 45-14,
45-14. That's 59 points for Aaron. And Bill, you won the last time before Aaron did. As you won more recent than Aaron. What do you got for the game tomorrow?
45-14. That's pretty close to what I was thinking there. Well, let's see. Weather's going to be kind of crappy tomorrow. Oh, let's see. 60. You said 64 was the over under?
Yes.
Oh, let's see. I'm going to go 42-14.
42-14. That away, Bill. Box him in a little bit. 56.
Yeah, I've learned to play that game.
You know what, guys? I don't know where this is coming from. I mean, okay, Iowa State beat Oklahoma in Norman, but
it's still Iowa State.
Iowa State, and I'm going to send some fans. I'm sorry. I'm not going to pick them to lose, but you guys are giving them a lot of points, 45 and 42.
You don't know how bad Kansas is.
Well, you know what? They might be upset-minded tomorrow.
Basketball team might be.
You know what? I'm going to take advice from a good friend who just gave me a prediction. I'm going to go with his prediction since it doesn't count anyway. As I am going to go, I'm going to take the Cyclones, but I'm going to go with, I'm going to go 27-10 Cyclones. So 37 for a total. Swish, you get to make a live pick, and you get to see what everybody else did.
How about that?
That's something new, isn't it?
Exciting. So new and exciting. I'm kind of with Jamie on this. Cyclones, we'll see how good they are, and can they come home and play up to the hype of the big upset? I'm going to go 35-7. Cyclones.
35-7 for the Cyclones. That's 42 points, and I got to give credit. That was Ryan Hauser who texted me and gave me that prediction. So we're going to go with him tonight. So, Bill, thanks for joining us tonight. Hey, we get one more, hopefully more than one more home game, but we get to for sure. We have one more home game for sure next Friday night.
Yeah, senior night next Friday. That'll be a good night.
That will be a good night. Thanks for joining us tonight, buddy boy. We appreciate it.
Nice job.
Bill Logan down on the sideline tonight and every night for us for West Delaware football. Aaron, a tough night for the Hawks tonight, but tell you what, there's always next week, and that game Thursday night will tell us if the Hawks are going to be the district champs out of District 4 or not if they defeat Maquoketa on Friday.
Yeah, and Hawks are going to be favored in that game pretty heavily. Go out, take care of business, kind of get some of these nicks and bumps and bruises healed up, hopefully, and get ready for a good playoff run. But tonight just wasn't the Hawks' night. They weren't able to do a couple things that they're typically really good at doing. It's running the football. Not turning the ball over. But I'm sure the coaches are going to go back, take a look at this stuff, get it cleaned up, and get ready for Maquoketa and hopefully end the regular season next week on a positive note at Brownfield.
Absolutely. Well, Swish, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I think you especially appreciate the help that a spotter in a high school football game has, or how much help that is. So I appreciate you in taking your bye week and helping us out here tonight as you get to see the Hawks for the first time this season, and certainly appreciate all your help tonight.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And it was good to see the Hawks here tonight. Unfortunately, in these circumstances, just not enough in the end, but always great to see Coach Wink and company, and they'll rebound against the Cardinals next week, hoping to get the district title yet. So still some good things ahead. Have to learn and improve on after this one here tonight. It's a tough one right now, but things can get better here down the road as we wind up this football season.
All right. Thanks, Swish. We'll talk to you next week. As we take one more look at our area scoreboard here tonight, as East Buchanan defeated Edco 20-14 in overtime. Maquoketa Valley shuts out North Cedar tonight, 36-0. A final as Independence falls to Benton Community tonight, 35-14. Cascade all over Waterloo Columbus, 56-6. In the third quarter, Beckman leading Monticello 23-0. Anamosa leading Mid Prairie 28-0. That game in the third quarter. And Northwind defeats Starmont on homecoming night. Northwind tonight, 34-6. That'll do it for the Okoboji Grill post-game show, brought to you by Okoboji Grill and Independence. If you're looking for great food and a unique atmosphere, then make Okoboji Grill your next lunch or dinner destination, or enjoy 2-for-1 happy hour every Monday through Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. That's Okoboji Grill, 1749 Golf Course Boulevard in Independence. Okoboji Grill, where good friends meet. And that's going to do it for us here tonight. I want to thank the sponsors of West Delaware football on KNCH. Without them, this broadcast, of course, would not be possible. I want to thank Janelle Tucker for running the board for us this evening, as a little technical difficulty to start the night, as technology does fail from time to time, and we appreciate her patience and making sure we got on the air for this game tonight. So great job, Janelle. We certainly appreciate it. And most of all, thank you, the listeners. For Aaron Plain, Bill Logan, and John Swisher, this is Jamie Vasky saying good night from Thomas Park in Marion, Iowa, where once again the final, the Marion Indians defeat the West Delaware Hawks tonight, 16-14. You've been listening to West Delaware football on Eastern Iowa Sports Station, Mix 94.7 KMCH. Stay tuned for this week's area online and playback game of the week, as East Buchanan is in Edgewood to take on Edco. And with the call of the game, along with Dan McClain, here's Kevin Shookman. Have a good night, everybody.